Good morning, fellow members. I'm very happy to invite you to this mega training program on bank audit, because today and tomorrow we are going to have the session, and to the maximum extent I'll cover the portion, and whatever be the doubt, you are welcome and you can put it the chat box. I'll give the reply immediately, and because it's, the luckiest person is Hemant Kumar, because whenever I start any program, I used to invite him as my, as not mine, as our chief guest.
No, not guest and all. I'm also participant in the
Over to
program for
Hemant,
the
sir.
day. Thank you very much. Very good morning, friends. On behalf of Ravindran sir, thank you very much for your service to the fraternity, continuous service, especially for banking related sector services. Your knowledge phenomenal, and your videos. So recently, a couple of days back, early morning, I was wake up at 5:30. 5:30 is early for me. So I was doing something. I could not sleep. I just opened Ravindran sir's video on documentation and record verification. 35 minutes, 25 minutes, I seen I was slept automatically. So such a way, wonderfully, he will take it up and nicely he will move in the subject in such a way. Friends, sir, what I request on behalf of the members, any audit for the sake of branch audit. We are all learners. We are all learners only. That is the reason we are here. Most of the people are already having audit and going to start on 4th, 1 to 4th, any one day. Generally, before starting your today's topic of LFAR, very important topic, I request all behalf the some youngsters I can see, including me being a youngster. I'm asking, when you visit the branch, there will be a first half an hour to 45 minutes or 1 hour will be the discussion time with the branch manager or chief manager who are the head of that particular institution. So in the initial briefing with the about knowing the knowledge of the branch is very important to whatever planning you already made, and whatever you written and went to the branch, few may not applicable. For example, full few points are may not applicable. So initial discussion with the branch manager will make a lot of sense, and to plan, execute, summarize, discuss, report. Any audit, generally these are the 5 points, as you know: plan, execute, summarize, discuss, and report. In this, before we want a wonderful reporting and legal compliance to be done to the satisfaction of your heart. Before that, the planning, before the planning stage itself, what are the things, if you have a discussion points, bullet points of around the 10 points, if you say, we'll note it down, and we'll plan, we'll prepare mentally and plan. If you go there and ask questions is different, and if you plan and go there and ask them, what are the starting questions, starting questions to be asked in the initial discussion, first meeting with the branch manager. Hope it will not, this 10 points or 20 points will not find anywhere in the website, will not find anywhere in the books. It is absolutely from your experience. So we are allowed to hear from you. We want to start the session. We visualize more or less everyone got the appointment letter. Now tomorrow morning we are going to the branch and sitting with before the branch manager. What are the questions? What, how to start it, sir? Kindly kickstart the session with that kickstarting of your discussion with the branch for the initial appraisal. So thank you very much. With this note, on behalf of all my colleagues, I request, thank you once again for giving this wonderful training transmission session. So I request Ravindran Stas to start with what are the discussion points to be done, because this information, my knowledge, nowhere, no faculty was and no books will be teach us. Your practical experience only can teach us. So please educate us. If you go and sit before the manager in the day one, first 1 hour, what are the points we have to ask the manager, and what are the points we have to note it down and reschedule our plan accordingly. Over to Ravindran sir. Thank you very much. Have a
Thank you,
happy
Hemant.
learning.
Thank you, Hemant, sir. And uh, once again, it's a happy moment for me, because I'm going to spend the entire 2 days with you. The first and foremost thing is, whenever you enter the branch, you are immediately you have to hand over the appointment letter. Then slowly the manager asked, "Sir, when are you going to complete the audit?" This is the first question that they will ask. And leave alone the audit program. The first thing, when are you going to complete the audit? You have to say, no, I don't know, because we are only when I proceed, then only I'll be in a position to inform you. And second one is, I mean, are you interested in veg or non-veg? This is a question from the branch manager angle, and you can tell. And immediately they offer you coffee or tea. That is also okay. And next one is, sir, forms are not ready, sir. So it is very difficult for you to commence the audit immediately. That is also another practical question, practical thing that you have to face. And this is all from the manager side. And when you go very fast and when you ask so many things, he will not give you full cooperation. So you have to go slowly, and you have to be fully friendship with the manager. This is one thing. And whenever I go for audit, the first question I want to ask the manager is, sir, where we have to sit? Because we have got some 2 staff or 3 staff. First thing is seat availability, where we have to sit. Normally what they do, sir, there is no space available. You go and sit in the dining table. So that is also another thing. So the first thing is where to sit. And next one is you can have some small discussion with the branch manager, and you can came to understand that what's the nature of the business. So is it agri-oriented business, or is there any big industries? And you can ask the very simple question. So who is your major borrower? There you can know the thing. And normally what we lost as the first thing is, so what is your total advance for the branch? Because our fees, it is depending on the advance. So that is first thing we used to ask, and you will tell, and he say that, sir, everything is system based. The system is taking care of everything, this and that. They will tell a lot of stories. So leave that point. Next one is, you have to start, and you have the question with the asking the manager to produce the balance sheet. So what is the P&L account and balance sheet? From the balance sheet, you can easily come and understood what are the loans and advances they have given, what are the areas they have given importance during the year. So that is a starting point. Based on that, you can start your audit. And also, the very important thing is whether staff cooperation will be there or not. So normally they say that, sir, our staff, they are not cooperating. And sometimes, yes, everyone is cooperating. So these are the things. One is seat availability, and you have to start with the balance sheet. From there you can start. This is a very small thing that I want to say to you, but it depends on the situation. You go to the bank, you decide, because a lot of members, they have got rich experience than me. Anyhow, for the lighter sense, like, I mean, to have some relaxation, we have started this discussion, and my plan is to start with long form audit report today, because last year they have introduced a long form audit report. I think, is my PPT visible, sir?
Yes, sir, visible.
Okay. And whatever be the question, I request the friends to, you have to put it in the chat box, and I'll answer it immediately. I'll go slowly because it is our program. There is no question of time strain. So in this manner, you can have the discussion. We'll start with the discussion, and before going to the before going to the start of long form audit report, I want to give first importance to the cash verification, because whenever you went to the branch, and the manager, he will immediately ask you which area you want to start, and you can say that it is cash that that I want to verify. I want to verify the cash. Is this PPT visible, sir?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. With this, I'm going to start today's presentation. I'm going very slowly, and you know that you are well versed in cash verification, but wherever possible, I'll explain some new techniques of verification of cash. Even this, you can educate to the staff. You know the technique, and for someone, it may be a revision. And I want to start with the verification of cash, because this is a base based on which your first LFIR question starts. So what are the things that we have to concentrate on? The cash? Relax, it's a starting point, because whenever you go to the bank, you can say that I want to verify the cash. Normally, yes, you can go and you can verify the cash, and the managers say that, okay, sir, this officer will come and help you. And also during the audit, before commencement of the audit, you have to ask the manager, sir, kindly depute a staff to assist me, one. and provide me a system for my verification. Provide me a system for my verification, because that will definitely help you a lot of time. And the important thing is the manager, they have to cooperate. And the verification of cash, that is a starting point. And here are the questions. What cash we have to verify, why we have to verify the cash, who has to verify the cash, and where to verify the cash, how to verify the cash, and when to verify the cash. These are the questions that we have to give answer to the manager, and we have to be fully equipped. And this work you have to engage, share to your junior. And now, what's the time of commencement of cash? That is, when to commence the cash. That is, you have to verify either the opening cash or you have to verify the closing cash. Then, anytime also it is possible, because if you are a concurrent auditor, in the appointment letter, they would have given direction that if the concurrent auditor wants to verify the cash at any time, we can do it. Even a statutory auditor also can do it. So it is a anytime verification of cash, it is there. So time of commencement of cash is very much important. Next thing, where we have to carry out the cash transactions. There are two situations. One is we have to carry the cash verification at the branch. Next one is we have to verify the cash at the ATM. And I will tell how to verify the cash at the ATM, but it's a simple question. We have to give answer where to verify the cash at the branch and automatic, and also you have to verify the cash at the ATM. And what to verify in the cash? One is you have to verify the rupee currency, because you are all well versed in the rupee currency, and you have to verify the foreign currency. Some branches, they have got some foreign currency. That means that the foreign currencies have to be verified by you. Suppose if I got doubt, or and if you don't know the purity, or if you don't know the fake identification of foreign currency, don't take risk. And you can give in your report clearly saying that I am not well versed in foreign currency, but I have counted the notes which have been produced for my verification. And regarding genuineness of the foreign currency, I am not going to certify here. So you can be specific in it. And third one is coins, because nowadays all banks, they have got huge quantity of coins inside the vault. So you have to verify all these three items. One is rupee currency, second one is foreign currency, third one is coins. And why we have to verify the cash? That is, we have to verify the cash for the accuracy, because the branch is having all the cash intact as per the cash book. And you have to see whether there is any fraud or misappropriation of cash. That is also there. So you have to see that point also. And for these two purposes, you have to verify the cash. And next point is, who is going to verify the cash? It is by you, that is a chartered accountant, and by your junior or by your article or assistant. They can verify the cash. Here, I want to suggest to you, you can verify cash, or even your article also, they can go and verify the cash. Only thing is, you should be accompanied by the officer. At the time of cash verification, the officer should be there. So this is an important thing that you have to know. But without officer verification, don't do the cash verification. But how to verify the cash? All the techniques that you have to teach to your staff. I'll tell how to verify the cash. One is you can do it manually also. You can do it manually. That is, you can count all the cash. And second one is you can use cash machine, and you can complete the cash verification through the cash counting machine. And before commencement of the cash, before commencement of cash verification, you have to ask for the first thing is cash stock register. This is very, very important thing. What is a cash stock register? Because everything you have put in the cash vault, that has to be recorded in your register, and that register is called as cash stock register. In cash stock register, the stock register has to be signed by the officers jointly, because the cash has to be kept under the joint custody of the official. So in that cash stock register, for the period from 1/4/2021 to 31/3/2022, you can verify the entire signature of the staff, because everyone has to sign that is, both the officers, they have to sign the cash stock register. So this work you can give to your staff, but even sometimes you can count the denomination also. You can do the manipulation of the multiplication of the denominations, because there in 2 branches I found out that the multiplication itself is wrong. So this is also another exercise that you can have in your audit program at the time of cash verification. So verification of cash stock register is very, very important, because this is the base based on which you have to do audit, because you have got the cash stock register, and even you can ask the manager or an officer to produce the daily cash balance, because there is a printout that will come in the system. You can ask the manager to give the daily printout, and you can ask the staff to compare this with the balance that is stated in the cash stock register. As per the book, what is the cash? As per the cash stock register, what is the cash? So you have to compare it. There also, if in 3 or 4 branches, I have found out some mistake. So cash verification of cash stock register is very, very important. And petty cash, you know it, for simple items, they are having petty cash register, plus they have got some stamp stock register and ATM deposit register. What is the ATM deposit register? Because each and every branch, they are having ATM. Every bank, every branch, they are having ATM counter. So whenever they remit the money from branch and they are sending to ATM, they have to make an entry in the ATM register, ATM deposit. Normally, this ATM cash work is given to the outsourcing person, because when they enter into MOU with the bank, now the outsourcing work of filling the ATM work can be given to the other person. So they have to come and record the same thing, or they can come and acknowledge the cash at the ATM deposit. Here, in one of the branches where I gone for audit, I noticed that day, the 3 of the staff of the security group, the cash security group has not, they are not turned. See, the person who is in charge of that ATM van, he came and requested our manager, sir, kindly hand over the cash to this fellow, because he will represent on behalf of us. So that is wrong. The manager immediately said that the contract is between us and you, and not with the third party. So we will not hand over the cash to him. If at all you want to take it, you take it. Otherwise, we will not hand over the cash to him. And if you are not able to carry out the transaction, then you will be terminated from the contract. So as an auditor, what you have to see, you have to go and verify the ATM agency agreement. ATM agency agreement. That is also another work that you have to carry out. So ATM deposit register you have to see. And another thing is, whenever any money is sent to ATM, money has to be sent to be deposited at the ATM, the cash has to be deposited before 6 p.m. daily or 6 p.m. of every day. So the time of cash remitter, if the cash, when the time cross 6 o'clock, then you have to give a warning that it should not be done. Otherwise, they have to come and return the cash to the branch. Otherwise, it's a wrong, it is against the norms. So that is why I request you to go and read the ATM security arrangement contract. You go and read that contract, then you'll know everything. The rule is before 6 p.m., the cash has to be deposited at the ATM. So, and even if the cash is in transit also, it has to be deposited within 6 p.m. So you can transfer the cash from your branch to another branch to bank, another bank, and branch to ATM. So these 3 things you can remove the cash from your branch to other place. Here, there's a scope for fraud. Here, there's a scope for fraud. They are making the entry today, and they say that the cash has not been deposited at the other branch. So immediately you have to see the date of reversal. When the cash has been reversed, that is, that entry has been reversed. If it is reversed after 2 days, then you have to, you have to do the audit in a suspicious manner, because that cash goes for the 2 days. So that is a question that you have to make, because the thing is, the cash has to be deposited within 6 p.m. of every day, whenever it left the branch. Repeat this one. Actually, ATM.
So this cash reversal one.
Cash
Reversal entry you said na that we should check.
Okay, Sanjana. Okay.
This one.
Okay. The thing is, when you make a entry today, that means you make an entry today and with the instruction that the cash has to be deposited at the other branch by today itself. If it is not done, then it will be outstanding at your book. And you have to see when this entry is being reversed. Suppose if the entry is being reversed on the next day, okay, it is satisfactory. And if the entry is reversed or after 2 days, then you have to go with the suspicion on and the entire 2 days where the cash was kept. So that question you have to see. So this is a thing you have to see with reference to cash in transit or ATM cash remittances. Next item is that I have already said cash in transit register. You have to see who has taken the cash. That also you have to see whether the officer has taken the cash or manager has taken the cash or clerk has taken the cash. So that is an acknowledgement of receipt of the cash that anyone has taken from the branch. And cash balance certificate verify with the system. This I already said. You have to take a printout from the system and you have to take you have to compare that with the cash stock register. Then thereby you can verify whether the cash balance as stated in the book is tallied with the cash stock register. Next one is no counterfeit notes are reported. Here you have to ask for the counterfeit notes reporting register. In that, the manager has to report, has to give explanation, or has to put everything in writing that counterfeit notes are recorded, if any. And if any counterfeit notes are noticed by the cashier during the cash, then the manager has to inform the same to the regional office, and after getting the permission from the regional office, he has to inform the police also. So whether these things have been done by the branch or not, that point you have to see. Next one is cashier book. What is a cashier book? Now the cash is being maintained in a system, but the cashier, in spite of the thing that they are maintaining the cash transaction in the system, they are maintaining manual book also. That manual book of writing the cash is said as cashier book. And in rural branches, still they are having this cashier book writing manually. So you have to ask for the cashier book, and you have to see. You can do some test check of some 7 days or 8 days, so that all the transactions are correctly done or correctly entered by the branch, by the cashier or not. That point you can see. So you have to ask for the cashier book. Next is key moment register. What is a key moment register? Key moment register is a register that shows where the keys have been, who is holding the key and who is handling the key. That is clearly mentioned in the key moment register. In the key moment register, if normally the rule says the keys of the branch, keys of the cash cabin has to be maintained jointly by the cashier or officer, and who holds the keys, they have to acknowledge the same by putting the signature in the key moment register. So whenever the officer goes on leave, he has to hand over the keys to someone. So in the release column, he has to sign, and the person who has taken over the charge, he has to also sign the key moment register. So you have to ask for the key moment register, and you have to verify whether on all days the keys have been keys register have been signed. Key register has been signed by the cashier or officer. It is a very, very important thing. Why it is very, very important? Suppose if anything goes wrong, then if any fraud has taken place, then the immediate thing is who holds the key. Immediate question is who holds the key. For that question, you have to give the answer. So as an auditor, what you have to do, it's also a specific question in LFA. That's why I started with this cash. So key moment register, you have to verify. And how many keys are there at the branch? You can put it in the chat box, because also another interesting question I want to ask. How many keys are there? You know that it's a cash key. Apart from that, what is other types of key? How many keys are there at the branch? Yeah, locker key. Locker key also, it has to be kept under the joint custody and it has to be used during the operation. Yeah, strong room key. Subbarao sir, you are correct. Then I expected only one answer. I mean, these are all keys. Other types of keys. because that is that key you have to verify. That's why I'm asking that question, because in auditor you have to include that point in your report. So branch key, yeah, Sajuna, it's correct. Main gate key or branch key. We can say a bunch of keys containing the entire branch, cash vault key, strong room key, and locker key. Everything it's in a bunch of things. They've got two sets of keys. One is at the branch, and the second one is they have to kept at the other branch or other bank for the safe custody, because duplicate keys should not be kept inside the branch. It has to be kept at the other branch. So for that, the other branch on receipt of the keys, they have to give the acknowledgement. And during the audit, you have to call for the duplicate key holding certificate. You have to verify the duplicate key holding certificate, because this is also you have to include in your audit program. And Mr. Badrinath, please wear your shirt and arrange the camera properly. Okay. Token register. Token register is the another thing. What is a token register? Now, the token register concept is not there. Now it is everything is system based. Everything is system based. So token register, you have to see if it is there. Previously, even in rural branches, you have got the concept of token register. Previously, it was there in all branches. Now, rural branches, they have got the concept of token register. In urban and in corporation and in big branches, they are having the system-based token. So you need not worry about it. But if there is any token register, you have to see how many tokens are there. Normally, it starts from 1 to 100. 1, 2, 3, 4 to 100. And if any tokens are missing, that has to be properly displayed in front of the cashier cabin. So when you verify the token register, you have to physically verify the number of tokens. And if any tokens are missing, that has to be recorded in the token register. And the missing tokens list should be displayed in front of the cashier cabin. So this point also you have to see. Next one is cash excess short register. What is cash excess short register? Normally, the cashier, whenever he handles the cash, on some days or not, or even we can say that it is on few days, there will be cash excess on some days, or sometimes the cash will be short on some days. So these cash excess or these cash short has to be reported to the controlling authorities immediately. And the manager has to give a specific report under whose mistake the cash excess is there, and whose mistake cash shortage was there. The cash excess is there, then they can put the cash in the suspension. Or if the cash is short, then it is a duty of the cashier. He has to reimburse the cash immediately to the vault, immediately to the cash balance. Then the cashier has to give explanation for this. So as an auditor, what you have to do, cash excess short register, you have to verify. And next one is called as retention limit. What is a retention limit? Retention limit is the limit fixed by the head office on the branch that every day the branch has to maintain a certain limit of cash beyond which the cash holding is not permitted. Normally, if the manager say that it is 10 lakhs, they say that it is 10 lakhs, then if it goes beyond 10 lakhs, then the excess holding has to be reported to the controlling authorities by the branch. Why they are giving importance to retention limit is that the cash insurance policy is being taken by the head office as a whole, and they allocate a particular limit to this particular branch. That is they included and mentioned as cash retention limit. So when you ask for the cash retention limit letter, then the manager, they will not produce. Managers, they are not in a position to produce the same, because they are not having the copy of the retention limit letter. And if they say that we are not having copy of the retention letter, please get a letter from the manager to say that we are not having the retention limit letter, but we declare that the retention limit for the branch is rupees 10 lakhs. Because this is also one of the point in LFAR. So retention limit area you have to concentrate. This work you can give to a staff, because you can say that the retention limit is 20 lakhs and you can ask your staff to verify the cash balance whenever the cash balance exceeded 20 lakhs, all those dates you have to compile and you have to report it. So this is called as retention limit. Next one is cash insurance register. This is also another column. It is there in the LFAR. When you ask for the cash insurance letter, they say that there is no insurance policy available at the branch. They can say that the insurance policy is done at the head office. So for that also you have to receive a letter from the head office. I mean from the branch manager, say that we are not having copy of the insurance policy, because this is also another specific question in the LFAR. So this point you have to ask. Next one is duplicate key holding certificate. That's why this question already we discussed. So you have to verify this duplicate key holding certificate. And normally the rule is once in 6 months they have to exchange the keys due to wear and tear of the keys. And now I'll tell the methods of verification of cash. What are the methods based on which you have to verify the cash? Because whenever you enter the branch, you have to do the cash verification. That first thing is count all cash. You can count all cash. All notes you can count. If cash excess short register is not maintained, Sanjana, if they are not maintained, then you have to give that point in your report saying that the cash excess short register is not maintained by the branch. That's all, simple report. See, our role is to report, that's all. You need not bother about the further thing. If they produce it, then okay. Subbarao asked during our audit, cash shortage is found. Staff has deposited the cash shortage. Still, we have to report in LFI. Yes, sir. It's a material thing. If any cash is found short during your audit, then you have to report that as per the book, this is a cash. As per the physical verification, this is a cash. This is a cash shortage. Then both the officer and manager, they agreed for the cash shortage. The cashier has deposited the shortage. Everything that you have to cover in your report. So it's a very, very important thing. And if you found cash shortage during your audit, you have to report it. And count all the cash. So that means you can count all the cash. Second one is count random row and column, because sometimes you have got huge quantity of cash. So what the people they will do, because you have got some 7 almiras or 8 almiras of full cash, so you can count the cash on row wise and column wise. That is also another method. Thereby you can count the cash, but in your report you have to say that I have not physically counted the entire cash. I have counted. I have adopted the method of cash counting by way of row and column basis. So this is that means you have to give a specific report in your report. And there is a folding method. What is a folding method or a clip method? Let us take, this is a cash bundle. And you are not well versed in cash counting, because when you do it, when you want to verify what you do, 1, 2, 3, 4, you are going very slowly. So this will this will definitely waste your time. But you have to count the cash. The folding method is, say this is a cash and you can fold some cash here and ask the officer or a man or the cashier to count the above cash which has not been folded. And when they say that the cash is 97, and when you can count the remaining folded cash. Say if it comes to 3, then that bundle cash is correct. So that method is called as folding method. Even sometimes what they will do, say in the middle of the note, in the middle of the rupee note, they will put a gem clip here. They will put a gem clip here. So they will ask the officer to count the cash, remaining cash, that is above the gem clip or below the gem clip. They have to say, and they will tell the figure, and you have to count only the notes which you have clipped. So the amount, the quantity should tally. In this manner, you can do the cash verification. Sir, now folding method may not be possible as cash counting machines are. Yeah, Vivek sir, on test check, you can do it. On test check, it is up to you to decide the cash verification. See, I am explaining the method of verification of cash. Now folding, you can count the cash through the machines also. In rural branches, you cannot find the counting machines. There will not be counting machines at the rural branches. When you are there in the metro or some corporations, you will be getting the cash counting machine. But when you visit the rural branches, still they are following the old concept. There is no cash counting machines. So you should know the technique of folding method. That's why I explained here. And if machines are available, you can do it. That is up to you to decide. Next one is cover method. What is called as cover method? So when you reach the branch by 11 o'clock or 11:30, when you want to say that, sir, I want to verify the cash. And the manager, he will immediately say that, no, it is not possible, because it is not possible for you to verify the cash because we have already started the transactions. Okay, sir, in spite of that also we can do the verification, and the manager is say, he will immediately object to your question, say that, no, if you do it, then our business will be spoiled. I said, sir, there is one method. Without spoiling the business, we can do the cash verification. Then immediately he will ask, so what is the method? Then you can say that, sir, please go to the cashier cabin. Please go to the cashier cabin. And you are not supposed to enter into the cashier cabin. Only the manager can enter into the cashier cabin. Then ask the manager to pull at random of some notes, some 2,500, 150, 20, all denomination. He has to pull it. And he has to put the cash in your cover. He has to put the cash in your cover. All the cash which he has pulled, he has to put the cash in the cover. And the cover has to be sealed. And it has to be pasted. And the manager has to sign across this cover. And you have to sign across the cover. And you have to hand over the cover to the cashier. You are not supposed to take the cover outside the branch, outside the cashier cover. Because till the cashier hands over the cash to the manager, it is the property of the cashier. So he has to hand over the cash to, he has to hand over the cover to the manager. In the evening, you will get a difference. That is the cashier, he will be getting the difference. So the difference should tally with the cash that has been put inside the cover. So you have to, at the time of verification, you have to unbreak the cover, or you can remove the cash from the cover and you can physically count. And if the cash shortage, if it is not there, that means that day transaction is correct. So without affecting the bank business, you are doing the cash verification. This is called as cover method. If you have got any doubt in cover method, you can ask, because there's a few members, senior members, they knew this technique, and youngsters, I think they are still to know this technique. If you got any doubt in cover method also, you can do it. At random, you have to remove the cash and you have to put it in the cover. And this cover you have to hand over to the cashier. And the evening, the cash shortage has to be announced, has to be set by the cashier. And the cash shortage should tally with the money that has been kept inside the cover. So, this cover method is very nice. I think we do it even with the cash counting machine. Thank you for teaching this technique. Thank you, Vivek sir. And this is also another important method that you should know. Next method is, I think, is a push cash method. What is this called as push cash method? When you find huge amount of quantity of cash and it is not physically possible for you to download everything. So what you have to do, you have to open the cash vault and you have to push the cash. You already counted all the column on row wise and column wise. And you have to verify whether that all the cash bundles are inside or not. Just you have to push it. In one of the branches where I've gone for audit, when I did this exercise, the cash has fallen in the middle. That means some cash bundles have been removed from the middle and there's been misappropriated. The total misappropriation came to 34 lakhs. So this is also another method of verifying the cash when you find a huge quantity of cash. So push cash method is the another method of verifying the cash. And normally you know that you have to verify the opening cash and closing cash. This is a normal thing. So when before opening the branch, when you went to the branch and you can ask the branch manager to produce the cash stock register, and you have to verify the cash that has been kept inside the vault. That is called as opening cash. And the closing cash is after the cashier closes the cash and after the cashier has handed over the cash to the branch manager, you have to count the closing cash. That is also another method. So these are in this method, these are the methods that are available for your cash verification. What are the other important points of cash verification is safe room opening and closing. This also as an, if you are in concurrent audit, you can do it. Safe room opening and cashing. That is every day. That is whenever anyone enters, they have to open the safe room, and whenever he left, he has to close the safe room. And you have to do the verification only in front of the bank account. So which method do we generally follow, sir, for cash verification? It depends on the counter, sir, and depends on the quantity of the cash. There you can do it. So this is a method that you can verify. Normally, cover method is preferable because you need not rush to the branch. Even when they say that you have to verify the cash, so you need not bother for the verification of opening cash and closing cash if you are not cover method. So you are counting the cash even without wasting your time, because at the cost of the cashier, you can count the cash. You need not waste your time. So do the verification only before the bank officials and count the soiled notes. So here, that's another important thing. You have to count the soiled notes, because in most of the banks, you can, if you see that fraud is there in the soil notes. Normally, we are not touching the soil notes. We are not counting the soil notes. So you have to count the soil notes. So if it is possible, if there is one bundle or two bundles, you can do it. Suppose if you find huge quantity, then you will not count it. And the rule of soil notes are once in 6 months, they have to send the soiled notes to that chest branch or as per the head office instructions. And here I want to say a very, very important thing. And when you count the soiled notes, please wear your mask. And you have to, after counting the cash, you have to wash your hand, because that soiled notes have got more bacteria than the normal notes. So this is an instruction that you have to remember. Soiled notes. Next one is wear mask and clean your hands, because you have to be healthy during the audit. And whether the periodical verification by the branch manager or zonal manager is there or not, this you can see from the cash shop register. Normally, the manager used to verify the cash once in a month. So after verification, he has to put the signature. And once in 3 months, a person from other branch or the person from regional office or zonal office, they visit the branch and they verify the cash, and even they went to verify the jewels also. So whether periodical verification by the branch manager or authorities are there, that also you have to verify. And they say that the cash has to be kept under the joint custody. From where we can identify this? Two places we can identify. One is cash shop register. In cash shop register, on all pages have to be signed by all the cashier and the officer. And in key mobile register also they have to execute and they have to sign the key mobile register. Thereby you can satisfy this point, because these are the important things that you have to cover in LFAR, joint custody. And other points of cash verification is RBI's clean note policy is followed or not. What is RBI's clean note policy? Previously, whenever you give the rupee, they will staple. Now, the RBI has clearly instructed not to staple the rupee note, not to staple the rupee note. So it has to be in bundle. You can even have some rubber band, you can use it, and there also you can hand over. And even the bankers, they have got their own tag. There also they can bundle the cash, but you are not supposed to staple. And if the many bankers has done it, and at the time of verification you have found that rupee notes have been stapled, then you have to bring special notice of it in your report. That is, the branch has not followed the clean note policy. And the same date cash is credited in transit at chest. That's why at this point I already when you send the cash from the branch to ATM to other branches, and the same day it has to be given credit. If it is done, and that too, that has to be done before 6 p.m. Then this is also another this thing that you have to consider. That is, if the cash is 10 lakhs or above, there is any cash remittances into the SB, you need not bother the current account. If any cash is being sent to the SB account, and if the party has remitted more than 10 lakhs, that has to be reported to the controlling authorities, and the controlling authorities in turn, they have to report to the head office. Head office in turn, they have to report this to the income tax department. So this, they will pass a separate report whether the branch has reported this 10 lakhs or not. In particularly in content audit, they will ask this question. But with reference to statutory audit, there is no question as of now. But as an auditor, you have to see whether this reporting format is being followed by the branch or not. Next point is foreign currency checking. This you are not master in foreign currency, so you have to play the game very safely. And if you are satisfied with the notes, then it's okay. Otherwise, you can give a clean report saying that I have physically counted only the notes, but about the genuineness of the note, I am not. Since I am not a specialist in foreign currency checking, so I have not physically counted only the notes. So with the specific report that you have to give. Yes, Sanjana said how we will check 10 lakhs. Sir? And Sanjana asked how we'll check the 10 lakh points as a special report available at the system. And from there you can take the report. And when he asks this, they will give the copy of the report. Next one is late cash payment and late cash receipt. What is late cash payment and late cash receipt? Sometimes after closing the cash, a customer, a VIP customer will come to the branch and they ask, sir, I need 20 lakhs immediately because I have to carry the same thing and I have to make the labor payment, this and that. They will tell a lot of importance. They will tell the need, and branch manager, he will approve the late cash payment. So that has to be, because as per the book, the cash is 30 lakhs, late cash payment is 12 lakhs. For that, remaining 18 lakhs cash will be there, and he has got 12 lakhs cash. And the next day, the cashier has to pass the first entry which they made towards the cash payment, and no further transaction is allowed, because as a first entry, they have to record the cash payment entry. What is late cash receipt? Late cash receipt is nothing but all the cash because sometimes a person came and he came and he has handed over the cash towards loan. The manager wants the recovery, so he receives the cash though the cash has been closed. So that is the thing that they have to record in the form of late cash receipt. And the next one is heavy cash remittances. Suppose if any customer remits heavy cash into the SB account, current account, you have to see the nature of transaction of that customer. And this is where now this year we are going to have problem. Heavy cash withdrawal. So say if the cash is being withdrawn by a person who is not an assessee or who has not filed income tax returns for 3 years, the TDS has to be deducted on on all withdrawals of 20 lakhs and above by the branch. And if he is an assessee and if he has produced the records to the manager, then the withdrawal exceeds 1 crore, then the TDS has to be deducted by the branch. This is going to be another headache for us. So from this year onwards, you have to give a specific certificate for this. The system will generate all the transactions and you have to verify it. So this is the additional certificate that we have to give for this year. That is TDS on cash withdrawal certificate that you have to give. Sir, will the slides be shared with us? This is there in the recorded program, so automatically the slide will be there. All the things will be there, and I'll give the importance to everything to you, Sanjana. We will verify. Wait, sir. Maximum extent I will try. Otherwise, I'll give the important points to you. Don't worry about it. But this I've already started to record, and I don't know the quality of the recording. Anyhow, I'll hand over the recording version to you, and we will see the sharing of PPT. And we will verify the cash at random transaction. Yeah, you can do it. And if at all you are verifying that random, that point you have to give, but TDS verification has to be specific, because you have to give a specific report in your, you have to cover the specific points in your report. So you have to give specifically. That means I think test check is not possible, but you can get the system generated statement and you can verify it. TDS will be deducted by the system itself. So should we check anything, whether it's being verified or detected, prepared by the system or not, it is your duty to verify whether the system has done the working correctly or not. That point you have to see. Now I am going for the ATM. Take the balance statement from the branch. So thing is, what is the closing balance? That is when you want to go to the branch by 3 o'clock, you have to take the ATM balance figure from the system, go to the ATM, take the balance statement from the ATM, compare it. If there is any difference, then you have to ask the manager to do the reconciliation. You are not supposed to do the reconciliation. You have to ask the manager to do the reconciliation, one. And what are the complaints that is there, that also you have to verify. And you have to physically count the cash that is there in the ATM. And you have to compare that with the balance figure that you have generated from the system. And if there is any difference, because not normally the system, due to some system mistake, sometimes debit entry will be there, but cash has not come out. So this also you have to record. So this is a method in which you have to verify the ATM. And you have to go with the officials and take the denomination balance from the ATM. You can check it, physically count and physically count the cash and compare it. Any cash excess or short, that you have to report it. Any ATM complaints, the funds are not released or deposited, that also you have to report. And verify the cash transactions of 50,000 and above. And if I say this is not related to ATM, it's a general thing. If you have to verify all those transactions of 50,000 and above, because every transaction above 50,000 requires PAN. Normally, if the amount is remitted into the account, you need not bother about the PAN, because all the PAN has already been recorded. All the PAN has already been recorded in the system, so don't worry about it. And if any cash remittances are there, then you have to go for the PAN. And next item is no cash credit closure or deposit. That is, if the deposit is closed and if the closed maturity value is in excess of 20,000 and above, that has to be given credit to the SB account and not to the it will not be paid in the form of cash. 2 Section SS. No cash credit closure of deposits. Deposit is closed. If the outstanding balance exceeds 20,000 and above, it has to be given only. It has to be given credit only to the SB account and no cash payment has to be made. So this, where you can easily find this, you go to the cashier book and you go to the debit side and he will write some deposit amount. If the deposit amount is above 20,000, then if you record it, that is a cash payment made by the branch to the customer. So this, in this manner, you can verify this entry. And okay, now I am coming for the so I have touched the cash. Now I'm coming for the long form audit report. Is this PPT visible, sir? Because long form audit report, is this PPT visible? Members, are you able to see this PPT? Yeah. Thank you, Vivek, sir. And now I am going to start with the LFAR. Last point in ATM. Yeah, you asked about the last point in ATM. I'll go to that slide. What is that last point in ATM? No cash credit closure. It's not that. That is last 2 points on that directly related to the ATM. That is deposits. If it is closed, if the deposit maturity value is 20,000 and above, no cash transactions are not allowed. No cash transactions are allowed. The amount has to be given credit to the SB account. From the SB account or current account, the party can take the money. Joseph, sir? Yeah. Now I am coming for the long form audit. I have touched the very important area of cash because that is the important point. Now, LFAR. So, RBI has previously, we have all done the LFAR based on the RBI circular number dash dated 17/4/2002. Now, last year, they changed the LFAR and they have issued the new format on 5/9/2020. On 5/9/2020, they have changed. And it is applicable from the year 2020-21. It is applicable from the year 2020-2021. From last year, the new LFAR was applicable. And here, when you go to the LFAR and you happen to see the LFAR, you can say that when you happen to see last statutory auditor's report, you can find no, nil, not applicable, yes. Other than that, no entries will be there. But this is overlooked and this is, overridden by the new LFAR. And you have to give a specific report in LFAR. And it's a mandatory one. If you say no, why it is not? If you say not applicable, why it is not applicable? So you have to give a specific report, and for yes and no, you have to give a specific report. For no, nil, it is okay. Nil is self-explanatory, and not applicable is also self-explanatory. But when you say yes, you have to give with explanation. And if you say no, you have to give with explanation. So this is an important thing that you should know. This LFAR has to be reported specifically, and also it is a mandatory one. And if the central statutory auditor wants to add some additional points other than those mentioned in the bank, they can do it. Because if the central statutory auditor wants the branch auditor to report anything additionally, it is also permitted. But before giving the suggestion, before giving the information to the central statutory branch auditor, then the statutory SCA, he has to submit the report to the audit committee, and the audit committee has to approve the requirement. Then only the statutory branch auditor has to give the report. So this is another thing they have added in this new LFAR. And timely submission of LFAR by the auditor is very much. So here, the timely submission of LFAR by auditor is, it applies both to the statutory branch auditor as well as to the central auditors. So the thing is, all the branch auditors, they are preparing the LFAR and they are reporting the same to the management. And the management, they compile everything. Actually, they are submitting this to the regional office. Regional office, they compile the entire region's LFAR and they are preparing the highlight for the LFAR. The same thing is being handed over to the head office. That is all compiled LFAR. They are handing over to the head office. The head office, they have to compile all the branch LFAR and they have to report the same to the central, that is statutory central auditors. Then the statutory auditors will prepare their own LFAR based on this LFAR comments, and they will prepare the highlights. And the central statutory auditor, they have to hand over the report to the audit committee. And the audit committee, they have to rectify all those mistakes which the central statutory auditor pointed out. And then they submit once again to the auditor for the signature. Then the auditor, he will sign the LFAR, central statutory auditor. He will sign the LFAR and he has to submit the same to the bank's head office as well as to the RBI. And for the time of submission of this report has to be clearly mentioned by the RBI or by the head office based on the RBI directions to the central statutory auditor. And within that time, the central statutory auditor has to submit the report to the RBI. So this is the question, and what should be the cutoff date for us to submit the report? Normally, Sanjana, you have to submit the LFAR along with your audit report. That is the rule. You have to submit along with submit the LFAR along with the audit report. LFAR has to be placed before ACB, means audit committee board, or rectification of irregularities. Then the LFAR has to be submitted within 60 days of submission, and this submission to RBI has to be done only by the central statutory auditor and not by the SBA. SBA means statutory branch auditor. I mean the 10th of April, or we can stretch. See, along with your report, with your main report, you have to submit the LFAR. Because you are doing the audit simultaneously. So first thing, you will prepare the audit report, then simultaneously you will prepare the LFAR. Because when you come out of the branch, you are not supposed to allow to be entered into the branch once again to prepare the LFAR. So you prepare the LFAR while you are doing the audit and you have to submit it. So here this is a very important thing. The central statutory auditor, he has to submit the LFAR report to RBI within 60 days of the LFAR date. So within 60 days, they have to submit to the RBI. And what of the LFAR new thing? And LFAR has to be submitted by the SCA and SBA. SCA means statutory central auditor. SBA means statutory branch auditor. And now we are concerned only with the SBA. We are not going to be SCA. So it's a regular question. That is, there are some additions to the existing LFAR, and you have to give the report in a regular question format. And there's a questionnaire format. Last year they introduced for the foreign exchange transactions, branches having very large advances, recovery of NPA, non-performing assets, and clearing of transactions. For that, they have in the LFAR, you can find the additional question. Other than the regular question, you will find the additional question with reference to these specialized branches. And if you are an auditor of a foreign branch, then the audit has to be conducted by the auditor, and they have to prepare the auditors, they have to prepare the LFAR. Then the finalized LFAR, they have to submit to the RBI directly. Plus, they have to send a copy of the LFAR to the controlling authorities of that foreign country. Suppose if you are submitting at UK, then which one, where is the regional office of UK you have to submit? Then this foreign branch auditor, he has to submit the report directly to RBI. It need not be sent to the central statutory auditor. This is a difference between the Indian branches and foreign branches. And what is the scope and objective of LFAR? Statutory branch auditor has to ensure whether the branch is following bank's policy. What is this? So that means you should know what is a bank's branch, but there is bank's policy. And when you ask this, even the manager, he didn't know what's bank's policy, because he may be transferred, or he may be get promoted, or he may be newly recruited. So as an auditor, what you have to see is what is the bank's policy. You have to see this. So what's that? It's a very difficult one, but as an auditor, you have to give a specific report whether the branch has followed the bank's policy or not. If you want, you can take a copy of it, and when you ask this about the bank's policy, the manager, he will arrange for the general policy of his bank. So it's a very risky one, but before giving comment, you have to be very careful. And next one is as to check the system and processes done by the head office. How you know? Because you are doing audit branch, it is very difficult for you to analyze the system and processes done by the head office. But and you can ask the manager, is there any guidelines for it? And if you produce that, then you go through it and you can give the comment. But when you comment both 1 and 2, you have to be very safe. You have to play the game very safely, and you have to check the data entry and data control system. So how the systems have been fed, and you have to go for the back-end records, and you have to verify, and a log report also you can verify. Thereby you can satisfy yourself, and you can give your report. And SBA can report the irregularities or adverse in the main report and not all comments. So that means you can find a lot of mistakes in the system, in the transactions. Only if it is a material nature, you can report in the main report. Otherwise, you can report everything in the LFAR. For example, if you consider events occurring after date of balance sheet with reference to NPA, it has to be covered in the main report as well as in the LFAR. In case if the branch has not applied the following papers, following forms, that is not material. It's a part of the loan document verification. That point you can give in your LFAR. It need not be reported in the main thing. So it is up to you to decide which one is material, that point you have to see. So SBA has to report the irregularities. And now coming to the para-wise reporting. Now we have talked about the cash. Now read the question. Does the system ensure cash maintained is in the effective joint custody of 2 or more? You are verified. And based on that, you can give. So for this, you have to verify the key movement register. You have to verify the cash stock register. You have to verify the cash stock register so that you can give the answer for this question. Next one is, have the cash balances at the branch ATM been checked at periodic intervals? This also you can see from the cash stock register. From there you can verify it. This also we have discussed. So the answering this question is very, very safe. And whether it has to be done at the periodic intervals, because when you happen to see the cash stock register, the manager has to verify the cash at least a month. Every month he has to verify. That has to be properly recorded in the cash stock register. And you can say what are the dates on which the manager has verified the cash. That also you can report. And all officers, official signatures and date that you have to verify. This is with reference to A, B. Now I am moving to B and C. Does the branch generally maintain or carry cash balances which vary significantly from the retention limit from the controlling authorities? Compare the same with the daily cash balance. Then you have to verify the retention limit. You have to ask for the retention limit. This also we have already discussed. Compare the same with the daily cash balance. That also we have discussed. C2. Does the figure of the balance in the branch books in respect of cash and its ATM tally with the book balance? That is whether ATM balance is tallied. That's the question. Compare the ATM balance with the balance bank's balance register, and reconciliation the work to be verified and verify the complaint. Here I want to stress once again, the reconciliation work has to be done by the branch and not by you. Don't do the reconciliation on your own. It consumes a lot of time. But even you don't know what are the important things. But you can verify. After they produce the reconciliation statement, you can verify whether all the entries that are related for the difference have been properly recorded by the branch or not. But don't do the reconciliation on your own. And the reconciliation work has to be done by the bank itself. The next point is whether the insurance cover is available with the branch adequately meets the requirement of the cover to cover cash in hand and the cash in transit. So that means cash in transit, for that also insurance policy should be there. When you ask for the insurance policy, then managers, they will not give. And if they are not able to produce the insurance policy, then you have to cover that point here, and that the manager is not produced the insurance policy for my verification. Be specific. And this is what I want to say about the cash. That's why I have gone depth in the cash transaction. And if you find anything wrong, that you can cover and you can report the same either here itself or you go to the LFAR's last para. There they said that anything that you wish to bring to the notice head office or to the central branch or central statutory auditor. There you can give all your report. Now we are going for the next item in the balance sheet, or that is balance with RBI, State Bank of India, other banks. So it is very, very simple. One can ask, sir, how to verify this? First thing, you have to go to the bank balance sheet. You have to verify, is there any balance that is being stated in RBI's, SBI, other banks? Bank shall in bank balance sheet, asset side, balance with State Bank, balance with RBI, balance with other banks. That is 3 columns. And if you find those figures, then you can ask the manager, sir, can you give the account statement for my verification? And you can compare it. Normally what the bankers, they do, they produce the closing balance certificate. Okay, if you find any difference, then you can ask the manager, sir, kindly rectify, kindly do the reconciliation of this bank statement, because your bank figure never tallied with the balance given by the RBI, SBI or other banks. Normally you will get difference in the form of charges. And sometimes on 31st, the cash would have been sent to the Reserve State Bank, but the entry would have been reflected on the next day. So for that, you have to do the MOC. You have to, so that not for MOC. MOC, you have to pass it for the charges. And if the entry is being reversed on the next day, you need not bother. There is no MOC required. So if the balance is being sent to the RBI or SBI, you have to ask for the balance certificate and compare it. If there is any difference, you have to ask the branch to do the reconciliation. You are not supposed to do the reconciliation. These are the important things that you have to see is that for branches with treasury operations applicable, there is Reserve Bank of India, State Bank, and other banks, they used to debit, they used to maintain, where the balance confirmation certificate is obtained for the outstanding balance as at the year end, and whether the opposite balances have been reconciled, the nature and the extent of the difference should be reported. So whatever be the difference, that you have to verify and you have to give specific thing in your report and get the balance confirmation from banks. So this is a very, very important thing. Even you can take Xerox copy of the balance confirmation, and if you find any difference, that has to be recorded, reported in that has to be recorded and reported in your audit report. So get the balance confirmation from banks and compare the same with the bank book. And in case of difference, do the reconciliation and analyze the reasons. So this is the point that you have to consider with reference to balances with RBI and SBI and other banks. So observation on the reconciliation statement may be reported in the following. Suppose if you observe anything, what are the important things that you have to report? Cash transactions remaining unresponded. That is 31st March, the branch has sent the cash to State Bank of India or RBI. That has not been reversed for even for a week also, it has not been reversed. So if that is there, then you have to give me a specific point. So that means you have to ask for the statement even beyond the account, your audit period also. You have to see the date of reversal. If the reversal is not done, it's a very serious nature, and you have to cover that point in your. And revenue items requiring adjustments, say sometimes bank charges, sometimes folio charges, sometimes even cash remittances charges will also be there. Sometimes they would have sent some their staff to your branch. For that, they would have written some expenses. So revenue items requiring adjustment, for that you have to pass the MOC, memorandum of changes, you have to pass. Because that bank charges, if the other bank they charge, and that is an expenditure to you, so debit bank charges, credit the State Bank of India. So you have to pass the MOC also in case of revenue items. Sometimes the bank would have given credit in the SB interest would have been given credit, but that income credit is not taken by your branch. So for that also you have to pass the MOC. That other credit and debit entries originated in the statements provided by RBI and others remaining unresponded for more than 15 days. So that means if any debit or any credit, if it has not been responded for more than 15 days, then that has to be reported. That means up to 15 days, you can recover it, you can rectify it. If it goes beyond 15 days, it is also a serious nature that you have to give report. And where the branch maintains account with RBI, suppose other than SBI and other banks, the branch maintains account with RBI, what are the important things that you want to say is entries originated prior to and but communicated recorded after the year end in relation to the currency chest operations at the branch involving deposits and withdrawals from the currency chest. It is nothing but you have sent the money to the currency chest. During in transit, the deposit at chest branch may be delayed, and sometimes the cash would have reached the chest branch, but there will not be any staff to count the cash. So the cash has not been recorded at the vault, at the cash chest branch. So there may be a delay of 2 days or 3 days, and you have to analyze the reasons, because when you are sending the cash to RBI, and normally for want of staff, they return the cash without making any entry, but they used to keep the stock of cash at the RBI's custody. And here one can say, if you are going to the branch and if the branch has got the chest branch transactions also, whether we have to check the cash of that chest branch or not. No, you are not supposed to test, you are not supposed to check the cash chest branch balance, because you are concerned only with the branch cash. You are not supposed to verify the chest branch cash. And in case of any major deserves special attention of the management, that point you have to report. So it's very, very simple. Money is sent by the branch to the chest branch. Money is sent by the branch to RBI or other branches, and the entry should be reversed. And if it exceeds 15 days, then that is of a serious nature. And if the entry of reversal is say for 3 days or 4 days, you can ask another question, why there was a delay in reversal. And before going to that, and received a question from Vivek sir, banks' financials are generally provided at the time of closure of the audit, sir. During the audit, they say they are unable to generate. Sir, Vivek sir, do not worry about it. Banks' financials, or you are supposed to sign the bank's financials. You are supposed to sign the bank financials. So in that balance sheet, if you find any column of balance with if you find balance with the RBI, State Bank of India, then you can go ahead. And if there is no balance of RBI, State Bank of India, other banks, you need not bother about that column, and you can fill it that as nil. Now I am going to talk about, and they say that they are unable to generate. Yeah, during the year they are not able to generate, but after the year end, and they can generate the statement. Just like party account, they have to produce this copy to you for your verification, and they have got no right to say that we are unable to generate those statements. And money at call and short notice, that is investment during the year. So sometimes the branch has given the money to other funds. It's a short-term finance. It's a short-term finance because people, they want the money. Say bankers, they want the money. Say even they are ready to pay some 24% interest or 36% interest. So this bank, your bank is giving the investment to other banks. So investment made during the year, that list you can take, you can verify, and balance at the year end confirm has to be compared with the confirmation report certificate with the reconciliation. That means your banks has reported that you have made a deposit, you have made a money of say 10 crores with IOB. With IOB, 7 seconds. Sir, really, the meeting like that. And when you made the investment, the other banks, they have to give the certificate. So that is the evidence for you to verify. So balance, and also you have to take the account copy with that other bank. You have to compare it. And if there is any difference, then you have to reconcile it. So that is with reference to money call and short notice. And if you made the investment with the other banks, the other bank, they would have given some investment, interest to you. So that also you have to verify, and you have to verify that the same is being properly recorded. That is, it should come to your branch. And if the same is being taken by the head office, you can pass the reverse entry because that profit is, it belongs to you only. And controlling authorities' instructions and guidelines have to be followed. It's very, very simple. When the branch, they want to make the investment, it has to be properly recorded only after, it has to be properly made only after getting the permission from the controlling authorities. So you have to see that point also. Is there any controlling authorities permission that is there? And you have to verify. This is also another fourth point that you have to report in LFAR. Investment for branches situated outside India. For branches, it is a branch which was situated outside India. It is not the local bank that is making the investment at the outside India. It is the branches that are situated outside India, that is foreign branches. When they made the investment, what are the rules? So purchase and sale of investment can be done because the manager there, they would have given some delegated powers. Suppose their surplus can be invested, that is called as sale. And sometimes they have withdrawn, or they would have got the deposit from others, that is also called as purchase. So purchase and sale of investment done within the delegated powers. Suppose normally the foreign branches have been led by the DGM category, say scale 6 category. Scale 5 is AGM, scale 6 is DGM. And if the foreign, that is they can do the purchase and sale of investments according to that delegated powers. So delegated powers we'll see in the advances area. So this is an important thing. Purchase and sale of investments have been done on the delegated powers. The investment is made and whose name? sometimes the branch has made the deposit in its name. So the interest comes to this branch P&L account. Sometimes the investment is made on behalf of the head office, then the investment has to go to the head office. Normally the mistake is that if the investment is made on behalf of the branch, the interest may go to the head office. So that entry has to be reversed in MOC. This is also another important point that you have to see. And you have to physically verify the certificates. And if they say that we have made a $2 lakh of money in American bank. So the American bank has to give you a certificate. That certificate you have to verify. Suppose you are the auditor of that foreign branch, then you have to call for the certificate. It is very, very simple, sir. For each and every column, you have to verify and you have to ask for the evidence. And if it is an investment, what about the interest? And if it is an investment, what about the certificate? So this manner you have to verify. This is the thing that you have to see with reference to the investment, and investment it has to be done based on the RBI norms or the laws of the foreign country. Sometimes the laws, that is a foreign country laws, won't allow you to make the deposit. So whether the laws of the other country has been followed by the branch or not, that also you have to see. Suppose if you are the auditor of the foreign branch. And you have to see the matured or overdue are not encashed and reason. Suppose that you have made a deposit, it has matured or overdue. Why it has not been further renewed? Why you are not encashed it? So all the reasons you have to analyze why the branch has not done it, because the investment may be running into some crores. If there is 1 day delay, means the branch is losing. So as an auditor, you have to see why the branch has not, though the deposits are matured, why it has not been renewed or why it has not been encashed. All the reasons that you have to analyze. Now coming for the advances, and advances portion, I'm going to take up the and a later part. Tomorrow I want to start with the advances, but anyhow I discuss with the highlights of advances here, and whatever left I will cover on the other day. And full verification. So this is a very, very important thing that they have stated in the LFAR. Full verification of advances, say 10% or more, aggregating funded and non-funded advances, or 10 crore, whichever is less. Here I want to ask you one thing. They say that aggregating funded advance. Here the funded advance is the outstanding balance. It is not the sanctioned amount. It is the outstanding balance that you have to take, plus the sanctioned limit of non-funded. You have to add, and you have to take 10% of it. For example, if you say that the branch has got funded and non-funded limit of 60 crores, non-funded limit of 60 crores, funded and non-funded account as 60 crores. What is 10%? It works out to 6 crores. 6 crores or 10 crore, whichever is less, you have to verify. This is called as large advance. 10%, that is 6 crores or 10 crores, whichever it is. That means you are supposed to verify all the advances of funded and non-funded. If it exceeds 6 crores, 100% you have to verify the account. If it is less than 100%, say 6 crores, you can do the testing. For example, another exercise is, if the outstanding balance is 600 crores, what is 10%? It is 60 crores. So you have to verify, you have to call large advances as 60 crores or 10 crore, whichever is less. That means you have to verify all the advances of 10 crores and above. So this point you have to see, because you have to be very, very careful. Sir, how to verify, whether I have to verify the 100% of all advances or not. So in LFAR, they have given this cutoff. 10% of aggregating of funded and non-funded, or 10 crores, whichever is less. So this exercise I'm going to, any doubt you can ask me. Because this is a very, very important thing, because based on which you have to do the audit. Is it clear, sir? Because how to identify the large advances. Vijay Pratap sir asked outstanding balance of funded and funded and sanction amount of non-funded, right? So yes, sir. This is Vijay Pratap sir, it is correct because non-funded, if it is being revoked, it will become funded. Suppose a bank guarantee is there and bank guarantee, if it is invoked, then the money has been honored by the bank, then that is called as funded. And non-funded means it is still to be honored. So that's why we are taking about the sanction of non-funded. And regarding this funded, we have to take the outstanding balance. Any doubt with this? Because a very, very important thing that you have to see. And Joseph sir asked, in one customer ID, there are 5 number of loans. All together, it becomes large advance. Then we want to verify all the advance. Yeah, it is not one account. It is a borrower. Suppose if the borrower has got 5 advances, you have to club and everything, and you can do it. Joseph sir, you are correct. Joseph sir said, in one customer ID, there are 5 loans. All put together, it exceeds the large advance category. Yeah, you have to verify all those advances. And next point is, specific and special details have to be furnished, if any, in addition. Specific and special details have to be furnished, if any, in addition. Suppose if you want to give any specific details, that point also you have to give. And all details require the attention of the management central statutory auditor. Suppose if we want, suppose if they say that the branch has committed some fraud that requires the management attention, that you have to give specifically. Yeah. What are the other important points? Critical comments and test checks have to be reported. If you find that this account is a critical in nature, suppose if the advance has, when on scrutiny, when you found that there was a lot of fund diversion, that amounts to critical comments. And as per RBI norms, if the fund diversions are noticed, then that account has to be treated as a fraudulent one. That account has to be treated as a fraudulent one. So sometimes you say that based on the large advances, remaining advance you have to do it. You can do it on test check basis. But previously, when you say that we have test check, that means these test check items we can safely escape. Say that, sir, we have done the test check, and on our test check there was no mistake. But here in this LFAR, you have to give a specific report. What are the items that you have test checked? So by way of saying that I have done the test check and you cannot go and escape. So you are, whatever the things that you have to give the list of also. Report is required for all your account verification, almost the working notes details. So whatever accounts you verify, everything has to be reported. And this is the format they introduced in this LFAR. That is account number, account name, balance at the year end, and balance at the year end of non-funded. What is the total? And what is the total here? The percentage of verification. What is the percentage verification that you have to do it? Here, this is inclusive of both large advances and other than the large advances, you have to report here. For large advances, you have to do 100% working. For other than the large advances, you can take, say, some 50% other than large advances, you have verified. So everything you have to cover in this report and you have to do it. So this is an additional work. And you cannot escape by saying that I have done test check, in my test check, nothing has found out. And if anything goes wrong, after reporting this, if anything goes wrong in your report on your test check, then you will be held responsible. So you have to be very, very careful while you choose the test check item also. That means you have to verify all those test check items at 100%. Generally, what is the percentage of verification needed if there are no large items? Normally, 25% you have to verify, sir. And suppose if it is 3,000, 4,000, you can ignore it. But if the amount is 20 lakhs, 30 lakhs, you can do it 100%. But you have to maintain a proper working sheet. Maintaining the proper working sheet plays a very, very vital role. So list of the accounts examined, that also you have to verify. That this point you have to give specifically in your report. The credit appraisal thing is, you have, whether the branch has complied with the procedures of credit appraisal, that you can easily, by experience, you can do it. And this I'm going to explain it tomorrow. That is the manager, that is the customer. He will submit the loan for new loan or renewal loan or enhancement or takeover loan. And after receipt of everything, the manager, he has to prepare the process note. And what are the, then after that, the manager has to prepare the sanction letter. Then based on the sanction letter, the documents have to be executed by the bankers. Sanjana, what is the main point should be there in working sheet? It is very, very simple. What you have seen in that account, that everything has to be recorded in your paper. That paper is called as working sheet. So what is it? So I have seen the pronote. It is there. Mention the pronote date. And I have seen the guarantor form, guarantor name, guarantor form number, name. That's all. Just you maintain everything in the working sheet. And document appraisal you have to see. And quick mortality account. This is also another report. What is a quick mortality account? You can put it in the chat box. And what is quick mortality account? A loan which has become NPA within a period of 12 months from the date of sanction. That is immediately within 12 months, if that account has become NPA, then that is being covered and under the column of quick mortality account. That is, there was some flaw in sanction, or there was some mistake in the among the party, and the manager has not appraised the loans properly. So quick mortality account also you have to see. So that means whenever you verify the account, you have to see when the account, when an NPA account is being sanctioned. If it is sanctioned within 2 months or 3 months, then all those accounts are coming under the category of quick mortality account. And Vijay Pratap sir asked, shall we verify only the high value advances falling in the definition of large advances, sir, or randomly high, medium, or low? No, actually, Vijay Pratap sir, the reply that they have given in this LFIR is 10% and above. You have to do it compulsorily, or 10 crores, whichever is less. That's why I said the amount is 600 crores, 10% is 60 crores, or 10 crores, whichever is less. So all the loans exceeding 10 crores, you have to verify 100%. The loan below 10 crores, you can choose at your choice. You can choose at your random. You can verify it. No randomly high value and low balances. You need not bother. So you can verify it. The thing is, you are man on the spot. You can decide. So 10% and above, you have to do it compulsorily. And feeding of interest rate and review of interest periodically. Feeding of interest rate and review of interest rate periodically. That means whenever any loan is being sanctioned, the interest rate has to be fed into the master record correctly. And if the branch has increased or decreased the interest rate, the same has also to be changed in the master record. So that is very, very important. As an auditor, you have to verify that point also. Another thing is frequent renewal of rollover of short-term loans. Normally, when they can go with the frequent renewal, so I need 10 lakhs in addition to the existing loan. We can say that that's a doc limit I want. Then after 3 days, 4 days, he will come and close it. Once again, he needs a fund. Again, he will close it. So that is called as frequent renewal and rollover short-term loans. So this you can find from the outstanding balance. Why suddenly the limit has increased? Why it has come down? Why it has increased or come down? So that is you have to see as an auditor. Next one is credit rating from RBI's approved credit rating agency. Credit rating agency, that's a separate list. If a borrower obtains a loan of 5 crores and above or 3 crores and above, they have to produce the credit rating agency. They have to give you a specific report of from the credit rating agency. One second. That's an approved list the RBI has got. And the bankers, they say that every year, the thing is, every year, the customer has to get a credit agency report. So you know the cost of credit, that is the fees charged by the credit rating agency, it will be around 1 lakh, 1.5 lakhs. It depends on the loan amount. They are not taking any risk at all. They say that this is the company's functioning. According to us, this is the rating. That's all. But they never cared about any risk against the company. One. And it has to be done every year. So that means it's an expenditure for the borrower. Anyhow, as per the RBI norms, as per the bank norms, the credit rating has to be obtained from the credit rating agency. And if you happen to see any loans exceeding 3 crores, normally few bankers, they say that the loans exceeding 3 crores, they have to get the credit agency report. And if it is not there, then you have to specifically mention it. In few banks, even few customers, they say that we will not go for the credit rating agency. Even the bankers, they themselves have got the credit rating agency. And they charge only a minimum fee. But if you go and approach the outside agency, then they will charge more. And as a rule, as an auditor, you have to see whether the credit rating work has been done from the credit rating agency approved by the RBI. And Vijay Pratap sir asked, please explain frequent rollover and renewals. One, it's very, very simple, sir. You have got a limit of 1 crore. You need additional fund of 10 lakhs. You will go and approach, I need additional ad hoc limit of 10 lakhs. The manager say that, okay, you go and avail the limit. You can use the limit for 5 days, then you will come and close it. Again, the limit comes to 1 crore and below. After a week, once again, you need another 15 lakhs. The manager, he will sanction. You use that 15 lakhs. And after 3 days or 4 days, you will come and close it. So this is called as frequent renewal and rollover of short-term loans. It is only the fund can be used for 1 week or 10 days. So this is called as frequent renewal and rollover of short-term loans. And credit rating report, I think Vijay Pratap sir, is it okay? If you got any doubt, you can ask me. RBI's credit rating policy, that agency that you are to ask. Then what is a sanction disbursement? Any loan sanctioned beyond delegated powers or limits assigned to the branch. Here, I want to say about the delegated powers. What is a delegated power? Normally, the board has got the full power to sanction the loan, but it is not possible for the entire board to sanction the entire bank's loan. So they delegate the power to the managers. The powers vary from category, the status. According to the status, the power vary. So here the power is for the scale 1. Scale 1 is called as assistant manager. Scale 2 is branch manager. Scale 3 is senior manager. Scale 4, TOD is equal to rollover. Yeah, Joseph sir, you are correct. Scale 4 is chief manager. Scale 5 is AGM. Scale 6 is DGM. Scale 7 is GM. So for each and every category, the board delegates the sanctioning powers to these persons. So they have to sanction the loan according to their powers delegated by the board of directors. So as an auditor, you have to see whether the manager, if any sanction is being done at the branch, and you have to see whether the power is being tallied, whether the power is correct or not. That point you have to see. That is any loan sanctioned beyond delegated powers. Suppose the manager has got the power of 30 lakhs, and if he has sanctioned 35 lakhs, that means he has exceeded his powers. And there is another concept called per borrower concept. Per borrower, so per group. So for housing loan, you can do this. For term loan, you can do this. For CC, you can do this. But all put together, the total limit should not exceed 30 lakhs. And if they are all put together, if the limit exceeds 30 lakhs, then that has to be reported. So this is the thing that you have to cover at this point. Loan disbursed without complying with the terms and conditions of the sanction letter. This also I am going to deal tomorrow. But anyhow, since it has come here, I will tell there are 4 classes there in this sanction letter. One is general class, which contains the details of the party. And second one is pre-condition disbursement. Third one is post-condition disbursement. And fourth one is general condition. All this a sanction letter has got. because here I got some power shutdown. Okay. Thing is, there are 4 classes are there in the sanction letter. One is first class goes to the first para, goes to the customer details. Second class goes to the loan pre-sanction conditions. And third class goes to the post-sanction conditions. And fourth class is general condition about all kinds of loans. You can do it. And loan given to companies to buy back the securities, normally no bankers, they will not give loan to buy back the securities, and if at all they give this loan, it has to be approved by the controlling authorities. So this is another thing, and I have received a question from Danny. Will the banker provide details of the delegated power to officers for loan sanction? Yes, it is available. You have to go and ask. You have to go and ask the delegated power circular or delegated power register. If you ask this, they will give you, and you can ask the manager, what is your status? If they say that senior manager, go to the delegated power ledger, and you have to verify what are the things, what are the items that they have to verify in the, that is up to where, up to what point they can sanction, that will be clearly mentioned in the delegated power register. Danny, you can ask that question also. You can get the details from the branch. And next thing is documentation. This is also I am going to deal either today's evening or tomorrow. I am going to handle this in detail with reference to documentation. Loan release without execution of the document. So that means the loan release without execution of the loan, without executing any pro note, the bank has released the loan. That is totally wrong, because where the contract starts when the borrower has accepted the sanction terms and conditions. In the sanction terms and conditions, they say that we will execute all the necessary documents in the form of term loan, in the form of CC, in the form of guarantor. We will come and sign. So this document is there, is the base. If anything goes wrong, this document can be used by the bank to file the case before court of law. So if any loan is sanctioned without the execution of the document, you have to be you have to report it. And deficiencies in documentation, yes, the customer has not signed and the date never differs, and there is an alteration, it has not been countersigned by the borrower. All these deficiencies we will cover in that documentation PPT. And the deficiency documentation that you have to do it, and non-registration of the charges. So that means if any loan is given, then the branch, they have to create the charge. The first charge is the branch, they have to create the EM, equitable mortgage. This equitable mortgage can be done by the branch at its own. At the branch itself, they are maintaining one register called as EM register. In the EM register, they have to sign. All the borrowers, they have to sign about the deposit of every documents. Then in Tamil Nadu, and only in few states, the concept of MODT is there. That is going and registering the mortgage at the register office. That is called as Memorandum of Deposit of Title, MODT. So in Tamil Nadu, the government, they say that only when you got the property registered, that is loan register and MODT, then only you are entitled to file the case before court of law. Otherwise, you are not entitled to go and file the case before court of law. And few banks, few states, they consider only the EM. The difference between EM and MODT is EM, if there is any deficit of stamp paper, then the bankers, they remit the same at the court, they pay the stamp duty on a later date, and they can file the case. But in Tamil Nadu, only when there is, only when the document is typed, document is registered, then only you are entitled to go and, go and make the case to be filed. Another important thing here I want, because I don't want to forget, because the very, very important thing is, you have to go and, do the CERSI, Central Registry Authority. You have to register all the properties under CERSI. If it is not registered under CERSI, then the securitization provisions will not be implemented. That is, SAFASI notice will not be issued unless until your charge is being created in CERSI. This is also another important thing that you have to see during your audit. CER, SAI. CESI. Next one is no guarantee is obtained. Normally, guarantee signature is not obtained by the bankers. So that point also is you have to include in your report. Loan against deposit without marking element is a very big chapter. So you are given a very loan against deposit. Lien means the bank has to record its own. Record its own entry, saying that the deposit belongs to us since we are given the money. So that is also I'll cover tomorrow in the advanced checklist. I have received some 3 questions. Sir, will the bank, okay, Vijay Pratap sir, so is it allowed? Frequent renewal or we need to report, sir? Yes, if the frequent renewal is allowed, that point you have to cover in your LFAR. It has to be reported, Mr. Vijay. And Joseph sir, how to verify CESI? And you need not, don't worry about Joseph sir. You can ask for the report. Sir, is CESI reported? That's a CESI register is there. If you call for the CESI register, and from there you can do the verification. CESI, what is that? CESI is, one second. CESI is called as Central Registry of Securitization Asset Reconstruction and Security Interest of India. CESI, the expansion of CESI is Central Registry of Securitization Asset Reconstruction and Security Interest of India. It is set up under Section 20 of SARFAESI Act. So that is clear. So you have to register all your assets under CESI. So that is being covered under Section 20 of SARFAESI Act. So CESI report you can ask, you can verify the CESI report, and you have to see whether all the documents, all the schedules have been properly recorded in the CESI. It's a separate form, just like encumbrance certificate. It's just like an encumbrance certificate. It's a separate report. You can record it. You can verify it. And also, I want to say one thing, because we are here. I want to say one thing, sir. Don't you please attend all your unknown calls, because it may be from any bankers. You would have, now you are attending this session, but any banker can call you for the audit. You have to give your acceptance, and if you are not attending the phone, that means the chance may go to other auditor. So please attend all the phone calls that you have received from the unknown numbers, and also check your mail often. That's why I have checked my mail, because even I have not received any audit for the last 3 years. I used to check my mail. So another important thing that is with reference to the document, that is review and monitoring supervision, is periodic review of advances. This normally I used to say, what is the difference between review and renewal? You have to remember the word. You have to see what is the difference between review and renewal. Review is meant for the term loan and renewal is meant for the cash credit or working capital loan. Normally, you have to see the difference. The review word, they are using it for the term loan. So periodic review of advances should be mentioned, and every month or every quarter, the balance confirmation has to be obtained from the customer by the branch. And AOD and all, a DPN is valid for, DPN means demand promissory note, is valid for a period of 3 years. And before the end of 3 years, once again, the bank, they have to obtain a fresh DPN. That's fresh DPN is called as AOD or oral. AOD means acknowledgement of debt. Oral means revival of debtor. It differs from bank to bank. The concept is AOD or oral. Almost AOD or oral is equivalent to DPN, demand promissory note. From the date of AOD, again, once again, the DPN is valid for another period of 3 years. So this point you have to see, and in your report, you have to cover whether the branch has obtained AOD on time or not. And overdue for renewal or renew. So this you can get it from the bank list. If there is any overdue or overdue for renewal or review, you can ask and you have to verify. If it is more than 6 months, that point you have to cover specifically in your report. And if there is any major discrepancies also, that it depends on the case to case. What is a major deficiency? When I visited the unit, there was no stock at all. That's a major discrepancy. And the loan is sanctioned for furniture business, but when I went there, I have seen some provision store is there. So it's a diversion. So these are the major discrepancies. Other things are stock statement, non-submission of stock statement, non-submission of data statement, and whether the party has submitted the other stock statements or not, and how the branch has calculated the drawing power. All this I'll cover in this separate slide in detail. Here I'm just touching it. So DP calculation has to be remade when the bank, that is the party, has to submit the financial statement on or before 31/12/2021. Suppose we are going audit for the year ending 31/3/22. The audited financial statements have to be submitted on or before 31/12/21. If it is not submitted, then the bankers, they will charge penal interest against the non-submission of audited financial statements. Whether all term loan, example is vehicle loan or housing loan, any loan, Joseph said any loan, whether it's a personal loan, housing loan, pension loan, any loan is valid for a period of 3 years from the date of DPN. A fresh AOD or oral has to be obtained. Whether it's even normally when the bank, they are giving temporary OD, TOD also, they have to obtain the DPN, but most of the bankers, they are not obtaining the TOD. That is acknowledging, that is DPN for the AOD also. So anything you have to get the AOD. AOD means acknowledgement of debt or revival letter, which is equivalent to the pronoun. So for each and every loan, they have to obtain. And what are the stock audit and related items that you have to see? And another items are advances to non-corporate entities beyond the limit set by them. See, normally the bank, they say that for corporate entities, bank as a whole, this is a limit, and bank as a whole, this is a corporate limit, non-corporate limit. If the bank as a whole, but this is not coming under the purview of the statutory branch auditor. If the limit exceeds beyond the limit, then that has to be reported, but it is duty of the central statutory auditor and not the statutory branch auditor. Due diligence report in respect of consortium and multiple banking arrangement. Here I want to ask, what is the difference between consortium advances and multiple banking? You can put the thing. What is the difference between, you can put it in the chat box. What is the difference between consortium advances and multiple banking? It's a very, very simple manner you can explain. What is the difference between consortium advances, consortium, one lead bank and other banks? Super. Subarasa, you are correct. Is there any threshold limit for the loan or its audited financial to be? Subarasa, you have to obtain for all the loans, you have to obtain the financial statements, audited financial statements. If it is there clearly mentioned in the sanction letter. If the sanction letter never mentioned it, you need not worry. And in terms of consortium, Subarasa said, consortium is the one, that is one lead banker and other banks. Then, what about the views of others? I will tell, in consortium bankers, all the 5 bankers, they pull together. Among the 5, they appoint one person as lead banker, and they have some meeting and they finalize the share of the loan. A bank, B bank, C bank, what is the share? And based on which they are giving the loan. That is called as consortium bank. And multiple banking, there is no leader. Each and every bank, they consider the loan, they sanction the loan according to their board's policy. There is no leader because there is no one to control the entire loan. So multiple banking and consortium banking, though they are one and the same, in consortium, there's a leader. In multiple, there is no leader. This is a basic difference. And we can say borrower avails of finance independently from more than one bank. Yeah, that is permitted. Even consortium also, so all banks pull together, then they section. Here, other bank consent is not required in the multiple banking. And I think who was given this answer? The answer is being given by Aarti. Yeah, you are correct, Aarti, sir. Lead bank details in case branch is not a lead bank. Suppose if your bank is not a lead bank, then your bank has to get a report from the lead bank about the performance among all the banks. because the lead bank, they have to prepare a consolidated report and they have to submit the same to the all consortium members. They are all called as consortium members. All the consortium members, they have to submit to that is lead bank, they have to give their report to the consortium members. Inspection of physical verification of securities charged to the bank, this you know it. Unauthorized overdrawing beyond the limit. What is called as unauthorized overdrawing beyond the limit? That is a sanction limit. So the limit should not exceed, that is outstanding balance should not exceed the limit. If it exceeded, then that has to be approved by the manager. And if the manager has approved that, the limit has to be returned within 15 days. So that means it's an authorized overdrawing. If the amount has not been returned within 15 days and it has crossed 15 days, and even after that also some 45 days, the limit it was there, then that limit is called as unauthorized overdrawing beyond the limit. Is it clear, sir? Unauthorized overdrawing means that is TOD is being given by the manager for 15 days, but the branch, that is the customer, has not returned the amount to the borrower. And the limit has, that is the outstanding period, that is period exceeds, that is the outstanding balance is being operated by the party without permission, without powers. Then those things are called as unauthorized overdrawing. Is it clear, sir? And next thing is no insurance coverage. So unauthorized overdrawing, it is there, you will find in most of the accounts. If any DOD, if the outstanding balance exceeds the sanction limit, you have to be very, very careful. That's all. And no insurance coverage. That means you have to verify the insurance policy. What are the important things that you have to see from the insurance policy is, that is location of the unit and validity of the insurance. That is the period should be, that is a insurance policy should cover your period of audit. And there should not be any under insurance. What is called as under insurance? Suppose if the loan amount is 10 lakhs, the insurance should be done for at least 13.10 divided by 3 into 4. What is it? 10 divided by 3 into 4. The insurance should be done at least for 13.34 lakhs. Insured, the branch has done the insurance only for the extent of the loan. That is 10 lakhs. So that means it is called as under insurance policy. This point you will find in most of the banks, in most of the transactions you will find insurance coverage. That is under insurance. If the branch, they insured the loan only to the extent of loan, if the bank has done the insurance only to the extent of the loan, that is called as under insurance. So it is very, very simple, sir. In the sanction letter for insurance, they say that the margin. So they say that the stock margin is 25%. So let us take, if the insurance is, if the stock is, the loan amount is 100. Let us take 100. So 100, and they say that the margin is 25%. So 100 divided by 3 into 4. That means it should be 133.33. So total insurance less margin should be the stock. And if the loan amount, to the extent of loan amount, if the insurance is done, then what about the margin, that is owner's margin? That has also to be covered by the policy. So 100 divided by 3 into 4. That is the formula. If the margin is 25%. In case the margin is 30%. 100 divided by 30 into 100. 100 means lakhs. So 100, the margin is, let us say 30%. 100 divided by 30 into 100. In case if the margin is 20%, 100 divided by 20 into 100. But debtors and stock, if the insurance holders are the property, sir, that is different. Collateral security concept is different. Collateral security concept is different. And for debtors and stock, if insurance policy, insurance is being done only for the purpose of stock. And sometimes few bankers, they say that insurance has also to be done for the collateral security also. If that is there in the sanction letter, then you have to specifically mention the point in your thing. Whether even they say that during your inspection, you are supposed to go and verify the collateral security also. Suppose if you are a concurrent auditor, you have to go and verify the collateral security also. So that's a time consuming one. But in statutory audit, you need not bother. But if you are a stock auditor, suppose if you are a credit auditor, you have to go and verify. Even if you are a stock auditor also, recent times they say that you have to go and verify the collateral security also. In one of my cases, I have gone with the Ernakulam, but the property is situated at Trivandrum. So they say that you have to go and verify the Trivandrum collateral security. I said, no, it is not possible. But I have relied on the valuer's report. Since the valuer has gone some 3 days back, I need not once again go to Trivandrum to verify the collateral security. But now it's a condition that you have to verify the collateral security also. That is also another condition. And you have to take the insurance for both the stock as well as the collateral security. And another point that in insurance is that the insurance policy should have got the banker's class. If the loan is being given by IOB, then in that insurance policy, they mention the goods are hypothecated to IOB. Or the loan is being financed by IOB. So banker class should be there in the insurance policy. Yeah, you said, yeah, Sanjana, you are correct. You said the total insurance is less margin should be the stock. No. Here I have mentioned about the stock insurance amount. To that extent, you have to do it. So let us take the loan amount is 100 rupees. 100 is, among that 100, owner's margin should be added. Owner margin should be added. If it is 25%. So 100 divided by 3 into 4. What is 25? So normally 100 rupees is taken as 75%. Say 100, owner margin is 25%. That means the loan amount should be 75. If the loan amount is 100 rupees, so 100 divided by bank's share of 3, what is the total share? It is 4. 100 divided by 3 into 4. In that manner, you have to calculate. Is it clear, sir? Because this is also a major comment that you can get from the bank. This is a new concept that is there. Red flag account. Red flag concept, it was introduced. It's one of the items that you can take it from forensic, and it gives the early warning signal. What is that? That is an indication that there will be some chance for some fraud in that account. Otherwise, even there will be some chance to see that this account is going to be bad very soon due to some extraordinary forces. Suppose if any raid is being conducted by the regulatory authorities, say income tax authorities or GST officials, that's a clear indication that the party has violated the government norms. So if the tax is being levied on a huge amount, then the unit will come to a close. And if anyone has identified that account as red flag account, that is very dangerous account, or that will scope for fraud, then from the date of identification of that account as red flag, within 6 months, they have to conduct the forensic audit and to see that is there any fraud or not. So all those accounts which are covered under red flag accounts will not be coming into the category of fraud. But within 6 months, the rule says once you identify one account as red flag, within 6 months, you have to verify you have to conduct the forensic audit. Then you have to see whether there is any fraudulent transaction involved or not. This is a new concept. It's a red flag account. Even you go to the Google, you search it, you will get a lot of ideas. You will get a lot of ideas. Even I have released a YouTube on red flag account also. Joseph sir, how do we know there are red flag accounts? Depends on the situation, depends on the transaction. You can identify. Even the bank's head office also, they can identify an account as red flag account. So whenever you enter the branch, and you can ask the branch manager, sir, is there any red flag account? If the manager says that there is no red flag account, then it falls on your head. And you have to verify all those accounts. So it is any fund diversion also are coming under the category of red flag account. So because RBI already said any fund diversion also leads to fraud. So you have to see, you can identify that. And another question also, there is no early, Joseph has raised how to identify red flag account, fund diversion, and suddenly there was a dispute among the partners, and suddenly one partner has ran away from the firm. It's all clear indication. There will be a lot of situations. So you just type red flag account in Google, you will get a very big list. And also I received a question from Subara, what is done under review of term loan during the initial sanction term loan? All papers are obtained from the borrower. But when is review done and periodically? Sir, Subara, sir, a term loan has to be reviewed every year from date of sanction. Each and every year you have to review the term loan every year, but CC has to be renewed every year. Term loan has to be reviewed every year. So this is a thing I want to say about the red flag account. And this is this year you have to give me a specific report. And another thing they added said, comments on adverse features contained in the top significant in top standard large advances. It is not NPA. Even among these large advances which are standard, 5 companies you have to select, and you have to do the working, and if there is anything negative that you have to do it. So here also this is another additional work that through LFAR we are getting it. Sir, who has to identify red flag accounts? Joseph sir, all the controlling authority, branch, controlling authorities, inspection officials, RBI, chartered accountant, and all those persons, even including public cannot, I mean, they are not playing a direct role, but indirect role they can play. But all this, they have to report this to the manager that this account has to be classified under the red flag account. All these 5 persons, they have to identify this red flag account. That is bank and you, the concurrent auditor and you have to do it. Comment on the features, adverse features, considered significant. The top 5 standard large advances also you have to verify. And leasing finance activities, suppose if the lease, that is ownership lies with the company. So creation of charge, if you finance, then the charge has to be created on all the properties. What's the insurance coverage? What is the security at the time of inspection? Everything that you have to verify. And asset classification, this is called as NPA. This is also ocean. That also I'm going to cover it separately. The question is whether the branch has identified the NPA correctly or not, and is the classification is as per the RBI norms. This we will discuss later. Whether there is special mention accounts have been properly classified by the branch or not, that also you have to give. And what are the changes that you have incorporated? That is called as MOC. This will have a clear, detailed discussion. I think today afternoon we will have a detailed discussion about the NPA. Other items are list of the accounts with outstanding of 10 crores and above, which have got large either on the downgraded or upgraded with regard to classification of NPA. That is, downgrading means from standard to substandard, substandard to D1, D2, D3. That is called as downgrading. And upgrading means from D3 to standard. If the amount exceeds 10 crores, you have to give a specific report. And whether RBI guidelines in the income recognition have been followed by the branch. All these questions we will discuss it in detail in the afternoon. Then whether RBI guidelines with reference to restructuring, sir, with reference to restructuring, a very, very simple thing. There are 2 kinds of restructuring that you have to follow. One is restructuring done before COVID, restructuring done after COVID. Restructuring done before COVID means if the restructuring account, if you do the restructuring, then the status goes to the next stage. Suppose if you are doing the restructuring as standard account, then the next year, then same year after restructuring, it will be called as substandard. And if you are doing restructuring for substandard, it will be called as D1 or D2 or D3. Okay, but during COVID, the RBI has come out with a clear instruction that you are permitted to do the restructuring, but there is no slippage of the status. This is the thing that you have to make the difference. And the rule of restructuring still it continues. If any restructuring is done to any account, no further restructuring has to be done within a period of 1 year from the date of original restructuring. That means a restructured account cannot be, it is are not eligible to be restructured once again for another period of 1 year. Whether it's a COVID restructuring or whether it's a non-COVID restructuring, restructuring period is 1 year from the last, that is from now you have done the, from today you have done the restructuring. From today for another next 1 year, you are not supposed to restructure the same amount. This is the concept. This I am skipping because all this we will discuss in the afternoon. Non-funded advance. What are all called as non-funded advance? So funded advance, I have got the direct outflow from the bank account to the customer side. Non-funded means there is no direct outflow, but bank's participation is there. Bank guarantee, yeah, bank guarantees. If anything goes wrong, then we will give the fund. So there is no immediate outflow of fund that is being covered under non-funded. What is the LC, bank guarantee, all are coming under the category of non-funded. So here, list of borrowers with details of LC devolved or guarantees during the year. First, you should know the LC or guarantee. Guarantee, you have got two status. One is performance guarantee, second one is financial guarantee. Performance guarantee, the bankers issue towards the performance of a contract or an activity. Financial guarantee is the commitment given by the banker with reference to financial thing. Suppose if the party has failed to pay the dues on such time, we will make the payment. That's a financial guarantee. Then LC. In LC, there are two types. One is inland LC and second one is FLC, that is foreign LC. LC, they are normally issued for the purpose of purchase of goods or capital asset from the outside country. If it is FLC, you can import the goods from outside, but the bankers, they are issuing LC with the condition that the party, he will make a payment on such and such date. If it is not paid, then the banker, they say that we will make the payment. But in LC, the ownership lies with the supplier of the goods and not with the party. The thing is, it's being devolved. That means it's being cancelled, invoked. That means the bankers, they are in a position to make the payment. If it is a guarantee, if it is a LC, the bankers, they have to make the payment. So you have to get the list that has to be reported in the LFAR. What's that? Agriculture loan frequent restructure and outstanding low balance become 4 to 5 times more than the sanction limit. AOD consent letter, so MKB thing. If it is an agricultural advances, anything you have to see the balance. The manager can say that we have done the restructuring. They will tell a lot of stories, but for each and everything you have to ask for the evidence. And sometimes the flood will be there in West Bengal. For that, the banker, they would have issued circular for West Bengal, but the person at Tamil Nadu, they are using that West Bengal circular for the benefit of the Tamil Nadu agriculturists. So you are the auditor. When you go to the auditor, when you go to the branch, and you have to see, the manager say that we have done the restructuring, you have to ask for the restructuring circular. The managers, they will not be in a position to produce because the manager, they themselves do the restructuring even without obtaining the head office circular. So you have to do the audit based on the head office thing, head office circular. If they say that if the circular is not available for verification, you don't worry at all. You do your classification. It is bank's head office headache. The bank's headache. They have to prove it. The restructuring evidence is not produced for my verification. So this restructuring done by the branch is totally wrong. So you can do your own NPA classification and you can do it. And list of borrowers where LC has been devolved, guarantees have been invoked but not paid. Now, what are the items they invoked? That is the paper they have submitted. So whether they can enhance the amount of loan with respect to sanction from head office. So any loan has to be sanctioned based on the dedicated powers of the branch. simple. Whether they can enhance the amount of the loan with respect to sanction from head office. When the head office says the sanction is 5 lakhs, the branch, they have to give only 5 lakhs. They have got no right to increase the limit to even to 5 lakh 1 rupee. That is totally wrong. They have violated the sanction terms and conditions. You can give a specific report. List of the borrowers where LC have been devolved and guarantees have been invoked but not paid. It is devolved, that is invoked, but branch has not made the payment. That list also you have to give. This you can get from the guarantee register or LC register. List of the instances where interchangeability of the fund between fund-based and non-fund-based facilities was allowed subsequent to the development of LC. See, nothing but the funded advance means immediately the fund goes from the bank. Non-funded means the fund, it will not go. But in case of invocation, the bank, they have to give the fund to the beneficiary. That means there is an immediate outflow. From the day the funds have been transferred from here to the other thing, then money will go. So is there any interchangeability from non-funded to funded? That list also you have to give. Next is suspense account. That is expeditious clearance of suspense account. So it is very simple, sir. If there is any outstanding in suspense account, that has to be reversed within 3 days. If it is not there, then what was the kind of the suspense account they made and why they are not reversed? You have to analyze it and you have to probe into it and you have to give the report. And outstanding for more than 90 days and above. I said it is 3 days. And if the outstanding is more than 90 days, then you have to get there. You have to go for the detailed study. Why the outstanding has come? Why the outstanding has come? That point you have to see. Why it was outstanding for more than 90 days? That you have to probe and give the reasons. And whether the amount is recoverable or not, a return of the starter accountant has to give this. Suppose if they found any amount in sundry assets, suspense account, you have to give a specific opinion whether that amount may be recovered or not. If it is not able to, if you are not able to recover that amount, then that point you have to specifically give in your report. The test check any usual item which or your view on it. Suppose if you test check any unusual items are there and you weigh it, and if it is a loss, why the loss is being entered into the others? So very, very simple, sir. You have to go and deeply study the suspense account and the sundry assets. You have to go that study and you have to see the genuineness of the transaction, genuineness of the amount that has been kept in the and dormant and with reference to liabilities, that is deposits. That means you are getting some fund from the public. Dormant and inoperative of deposits, any transactions noticed. So dormant means an account is an operative, it is regular operation there. And if there is no operation for a period of more than 1 year, then the branch, they have to inform the branch, the customer that the account has to be operated. In spite of the notice, if the party has not operated the account, then at the end of the second year, then that account has to be transferred to the inoperative account or dormant account. So inoperative account, if the funds have been transferred, no further transactions are allowed in that inoperative account. But if at all you want to do the transaction in the inoperative account, it has to be approved by the branch head because they are transferring the account from the inoperative to operative. I think both are same. Dormant and inoperative both are same. Dormant means it is less than 1 year. That is normally a few bankers, they say that if there is no transaction in that account, that account has to be treated as dormant. And if it is more than 2 years, that is being classified as inoperative. And the meaning of both dormant and inoperative one and the same. What report we will ask the from the bank to check whether the transaction done or not. If any amount is being transferred to the inoperative accounts, you have to view it. And if there is any transaction that is, if any inoperative account is being converted into operative account, that also you have to verify. For that, there's a separate statement available in the system. You can take conversion of inoperative to operative. There's a system report will be there. You go through it, thereby you can analyze it. And after balance sheet date, any unusual large deposit movement. What is that? Increase or decrease? Suppose from the cash credit account, the fund would have been gone to the deposit account. That is called as window dressing. Because you have sanctioned some 50 lakhs. The party has to utilize only 10 lakhs. That means in order to increase the business, what the bankers they do, they debit the insurance, they debit the cash credit account and credit the deposit account. Thereby, your 40 lakhs advance is boosted Thereby your deposit account is also boosted. As per RBI norms, this is called as window dressing. There is no original entry, but artificially they have increased both the deposits, both the advances. These points you have to cover in your LFAR. This is called as window dressing. So unusual movement. On the 2nd of April, they closed the deposit and they gave credit to the current account, cash credit account. If that is there, then these are the items that are coming into the column called unusual large deposit movement. I think was raised this question, Vijay Pratap, definition on dormant. Sir, an account is not operative, then for a period of 1 year, from 1 year to 2 years, it is called as dormant. If it exceeds 2 years, this is going to the category of inoperative account. Okay. And window dressing. It is nothing but that is without any actual transaction. For example, the party has got the sanction of 50 lakhs. He has utilized only 10 lakhs. At the year end, the branch, in order to show the increase in that business, in order to meet the target, what they will do, they debit the CC. That means the party is deemed to withdraw the money. And the same day, the deposit account is being created on the name of the party. So on the same day, loan is increased. On the same day, deposit is increased, but it is not a genuine thing. Only the banker's fund is being shown as deposit. There is no actual transaction. This is called as window dressing. So to confirm this, on the 2nd of April, this deposit is closed and given credit to the CC account. This is called as window dressing. You can normally find this in almost all the branches. But RBI wants a specific report with reference to window dressing that you have to give. And automatic renewal of FCNRB deposit. Yeah, foreign national currency, foreign FCNR. It is not FNCR, foreign currency non-resident bank deposit. It is not FNCR. It is FCNR deposits. What is the status of the depositor? That means a non-resident can make a deposit of FCNR. But if the non-resident has become resident, the deposit status of FCNR goes. So the status of the depositor has to be seen by you. And minimum balance, that is maintenance of minimum balance and levy of charge, they will do it. Now coming to the next column is other liabilities, and that is you have to pay. The branch, they have to pay. What are the items? Bills payable and sundry deposits pending for more than 1 year. Why the branch has not paid the amount for more than 1 year? You have to analyze and you have to give a specific report. And next one is unusual item of withdrawal. Because they have withdrawn the amount, unusual item. So you can, that means the bankers are liable for making the payment. Suppose in case any fraud, the head office would have transferred the fund to the branch and they keep that in the sundry deposit, because saying that this amount belongs to some other person. So that also you have to report. Next one is contingent liability. So that means the liability may come or may not come. So list of the major items of contingent liabilities other than the contingent liabilities such as guarantees, LC, other than that, not acknowledged by the branch. Here I will tell a very, very practical case. I will tell. See, in one of the branches at Salem, he has applied for the loan and the party has handed over all the title to the bankers. And the branch has not sanctioned the loan for some other reason. And when they returned the title deed, the borrower found that the original title deed was missing. And when the party insisted for the original title deed, the bankers say that no, we will give police complaint and we will give the letter to you. But the party has immediately filed a case against the bank against negligence of duty, and they demanded 2 crores from the banker. Actually, he has applied only for 5 lakhs. Since the bank they misplaced the document, and he has filed a case for 2 crores. So this is not acknowledged by the branch. So in case, so that means you have to ask, is there any case that is pending against the bank which has been filed by the customers? So this detail you have to ask, and this thing you have to report in the contingent liability. If the banker say that you have to get a return certificate from the manager. There is no such case pending against the bank. And now we are going for the P&L account. And here they say that you have to do only test check. This is also another separate session I am going to cover in detail. I am just skipping it because that is a thing that we have to cover. I am going to cover in detail. Next thing is general. So gold, bullion, security items. What are you have to do the physical verification if it is there available at your branch. Does the system ensure that gold, bullion is effective in joint custody of normally just like jewels, just like cash, gold, bullion, security items should be kept under the joint custody. And whether does a branch maintain adequate records of receipts, issues, and balances. Your head office has sent the gold to you or bullion to you. You have to record in the inward. And when they release the thing, it has to be recorded in outward. And what is the balance? Everything has to be properly recorded, and it has to be updated regularly. Regularly means daily you have to do it, do the transactions. As usual, you have to do the physical verification. Who is doing the physical verification? And as an auditor, you have to do the physical verification of gold, bullion, and security items. And if there is any difference, that difference I have to report to the controlling authority. Does the branch of the bank have adequate system and internal control custody? So what are all called as security? Here they have given the list. Unissued term deposit, draft, payout, checkbook, traveler's check, gift check, etc. These are all called as security items. So is everything recorded properly in the respective register or not? So you have to verify those registers because you have to give a specific answer. Does the system ensure? If you say yes, and if there is any mistake in it, then you are caught. So that means you have to verify the deposit, unissued time deposit receipt, and there should not be any misplaced. Suppose if there is a draft, unissued DDs are there, it should not be encashed. So you have to see and you have to give a specific point. Whether the system is being followed by the branch, have you come across any missing or lost items? So suppose if any DD is missing or if any checkbooks are missing, then you have to give that point in your report. Even if you say that there is no record, and if it has happened in future, then if that has been found in future, then you are caught. What are the books and records? Whether there is any software or system, manual or otherwise, used at the branch which are not integrated with CBS, this you have to give specific. And is there any IS audit? And you have to call for the IS audit report, and then you have to give your opinion. Whether the branch is generating and verifying the exception report at the periodical intervals as prescribed by the. See, even exception report is available every day. So if a concurrent auditor has to verify the exception report at least every week. So in statutory audit, you can test check it and you can leave it. So what are the days they prepare the exception report, that you have to see. Whether the system of bank warrants the experience complaints of daily exception report, and whether there is any major observation pending, such it's nothing but if there is any difference in the exception report, that point you have to make note of it and you have to report it. And others on books because whether the bank has laid down the procedures for manual intervention to system generated data and proper authentication of the related transaction arising from along other proper audit trails. That is there any, whether manual intervention is required towards the system generated operation. And furnish your comment. Joseph sir, just wait. I think I'll complete the PPT. There are some 8 slides. I think we will complete it and we will break. Furnish your comment about the data integrity of MSN. Then interbranch accounts. What are called as interbranch accounts? So head office branch may send some amount to the other branch in the form of NEFT. So that has to be covered in the head office transaction. Because the other branch would have made the payment. Other bank would have made the payment. So what is the due from the other branch? What is the due from the other bank? Everything has to be recorded and everything has to be properly recorded in the interbank accounts. And suppose if the outstanding is beyond 7 days, because if you send the amount, say from Salem to Coimbatore, if you send the amount and the Coimbatore branch, they made the payment, and head office has to confirm the thing and they have to remove the entry. And if it goes beyond 7 days, then that has to be reported. So it is remained unresponded or uncompliant queries. And this is with reference to fraud. This is a fraud. This is a very, very interesting thing. Here I want to start with the caution that if any fraud is undetected during the course of audit, then the auditor is held personally responsible for the loss to the bank, apart from losing our certificate, facing insured action, facing regulatory actions, court action, etc., etc., etc. So you have to find the fraud if there is any fraud. One can say that how can I find the fraud? So it depends on the situation. When you go through the document, when you find anything wrong, so you can probe into the transaction and you can do it. This is also for this class, for this fraud also, I'm going to have a separate session, and I'll go with the case study also. And because LFAR is an ocean and everything is included here, that's why I have taken the LFAR first. And frauds detected and classified, but confirmation of reporting to RBI is not available to branch records. They said it all, what's that? MKB said, they said interbranch transactions, they said it's all CBS and head office. They will take, yes, head office, they will take care, but you have to see that the head office has to confirm, the branch has to get the closing confirmation letter from the head office that we have reconciled the balance between the branch and head office. So for that, they have to get you a separate letter. If it is not there, then in your report, you have to put that the head office reconciliation statement certificate has not been received from the head office, because you want to play the game very safely. And interbranch account, is there anything pending under CBS? So this also has to be taken care of by the head office. Here, with reference to fraud detected, classified, but confirmed. They reported to RBI and RBI still they have to confirm the fraud. This is the first statement. So you have to ask this statement from the branch. And the second one is there any suspected fraud? And the branch has detected the fraud and they reported to the controlling authorities, and the controlling authorities' permission is pending for investigation. So that also you have to cover that point in the second thing. And sir, will you be explaining use of Excel to find out these points that we are discussing, like NPA and other points of LFAR? Vijay Pratap, I am not going to use the Excel to identify the NPA, but I will tell the practical mode of identifying NPA in Excel. Because I am not thorough with the Excel, I can openly admit, but I am not thorough with the Excel. But I know how to find an NPA even without using Excel. Also, within 5 to 10 minutes, I can find the NPA easily. But anything, if you go by the system, and if the system is, if you find, you can do a lot of manipulation in the system. That way, you can avoid NPA. But in system, but in manual, you cannot do it. No one can manipulate. If you're strong in manual system working is nothing. So I'll teach the techniques how to identify NPA. In 5 to 10 minutes, you can easily understand, you can easily identify one of it as NPA. I'll tell the technique, I think I'll take up in the afternoon. And because I have to admit, I am not, I've passed the examination in the November 86. At that time, I have seen only the computer in a page, in a book. But even I have not touched the computer. Even I have not touched the mouse at all. But now, okay, a lot of youngsters just like you are coming and you are well versed in software. But when I do SWOT analysis, the weaknesses, I'm weak in the system operation, but I'm very strong in the manual operation. So if you are strong in manual operation, no one can come and cheat you, because I can easily find any mistake in this system. So this is the second thing that you have to do it. And third one is, this is a list of fraud they have already identified. You have to say for each and everything that you have to give. You have to give a report. Is there any fund diversion, and what are that is whether the debtors and creditors are fabricated or not. So if you go through this in detail, you will get a lot of information. Whether the invoices are fabricated, whether the stock statement is fabricated, and that is called as whether is there any fake export of shipping bill, etc. So that means whenever you are doing audit, you have to see the genuineness of the transaction. If it is not there, then everything you have to cover and report it here. And fourth point of fraud is whether the system of early warning framework is working effectively and as required in that is RFA. So the system to identify the early warning, that if it is there, then you can easily you can identify that account under the red flag account. And general others are KYC implementation and MIS. And what are the miscellaneous items that you have to see in framing your audit work, LFIR? Have you considered the major adverse comments arising out of the latest reports, such as, that means what are the reports that you have to consider? You have to consider the previous year branch auditor's report and LFIR. That means you have to ask for the previous year's auditor report and you have to consider LFIR. If the last year auditor has mentioned any special thing, whether the branch has rectified that point or not, that you have to take care. And internal audit, snap audit, and concurrent audit reports. And credit audit report. You have to consider the stock audit report, RBI inspection report if it is there. Then income and expenditure, that is revenue audit, you have to see. There is a revenue audit report, you have to see. All these reports that you have to see before coming to the conclusion. And next one is information system audit, IT audit, there is information technology audit, computer and system based audit. All these reports you have to ask. And next one is any special inspection or investigation report. Any special or investigation report that you have to see. All that means it's nothing but, is there any audit that the branch is subject to audit? If any report is available, then you have to call all the audit reports, you have to go through it. For going through this, it will take 1 day, but you have to give the report within 3 days. Okay, you have to go through this, because if there is any adverse features or notice in that, you have to give that one. And here is the class. Here is the class. One can say that, sir, this is not asked by the head office. Why you touch this point? Why you want to do this? Are there any other matters which you as a branch auditor would like to bring to the notice of the management of the central statutory auditor? You have to give a very big list. Other than the regular things, you can include everything here and you can give the report. And with reference to this, there is another additional questionnaire applicable for the specialized branches. What are called as specialized branches? For clearinghouse, foreign exchange transactions, NPA transactions, and everything you have to give a special report. For that, we have got a separate format, and let us. And I think Joseph said we will break for 5 minutes and come back, because we have to cover a lot of things. So we will break for 5 minutes and come back. And I'm going to start with the long form audit report for these large advances. I'm going to start. So we'll break for 5 minutes and come back. Yes, sir. Thank you, and come back. We'll start the session, and this is going to be another interesting area, because so far we have discussed about the general thing about the long form audit report. Now we are going to discuss specifically with reference to large, irregular and critical advances. I think members are here now. Members, think here they came back. I'm just starting the presentation. Can I start, sir? Otherwise I can wait. Yes, Barav sir said yes. Others, Joseph sir. Thank you very much, because you only needed the break. And thank you, even I needed the break, but you raised it. Thank you, Arti. And here, the very, very important thing that you have to take note of this LFA with reference to large, irregular, critical advances. The report has to be prepared by the branch manager and not by you, because this area has to be prepared by the branch manager and not by you. See, here you can easily identify at the end that it has to be signed by signature, date, signature, and seal of the branch in charge. So that means you are not supposed to prepare this report. The report has to be prepared by the branch manager with reference to large advances. You know what is large advances? That is 10% or more, or 10 crores, whichever is less, 10% or more on the funded and non-funded advances, or 10 crores, whichever is less. For that, the branch manager has to give a specific report. You need not prepare. They have to prepare the report and they have to give that in writing. You have to verify it. And if there is any difference, that you have to give your observation in your LFAR. So here they have to mention all the details about the name of the borrower, address, and nature of the business, total exposure of the branch, that is what is funded and what is non-funded, and name of the proprietor, name of the chief executives, asset classification, that is as on the current audit. What is your audit asset classification? What about the previous balance sheet audit asset classification? What is the asset classification of the branch manager, branch auditor? What about the current audit classification done by the current year audit? What about the previous auditor? Is there any adverse features that they have pointed out on in relation to asset classification by the branch inspection and any other audit? The date on which the asset was first classified as NPA, everything the branch has to classify, has to give. Even you can take the list while you prepare the any test check item, even you can utilize this list and you can do it, but it's a cumbersome process. Facility sanction, what are the primary, that is even this is a very, very important thing. That is the date of sanction, what are the nature of facilities, what is the limit sanction, what is the primary security, what is the collateral security. That also we'll cover in the next, tomorrow we'll cover that point. What is the margin, balance outstanding at the year end, current year, and is there facility subject to consortium? If consortium, name of the participating bankers, name of the lead bank. So if you go through this, you can easily understand. And all these things have to be prepared by the branch manager and not by you. You are there to verify. So what are the sanction terms and conditions? Where is this PDF? Where is the PDF, sir? Our bank will already have it. Vijay Pratap, sir, it is available in the site. And today, I think, today I'll share this PPT to you. Don't worry. It is not a PPT. This PDF I'll share to you. Don't worry at all. Because my intention is after completion of the session, you'll be master in the bank audit. Yes, you'll go to the audit with a lot of confidence. And what is the primary security? What is the collateral security? Vijay Pratap sir, don't worry, and I'll share this PPT to you. Sorry, PDF. It's not PPT. Guarantees, asset coverage, everything that you have to give. And this is a headache for you. You have to prepare the ratio analysis statement. So turnover increase, see, this is nothing but a CMA, credit monitoring advances, credit monitoring analysis of the advances. So CMA statement you have to give. Increase in turnover. Sir, we are not able to find out the ratios. So these details they will give. Don't worry at all. You don't worry about the ratios, and you have to comment only against the ratios. We are not able to find out the ratio, and when you are not able to find out the ratio, you have to give a report that the branch has not produced any details to find out the ratios. And this is a very, very interesting thing that you have to go through it. And even this can be from this you can have very good thing. You can take a lot of decision on it. Do we have to sign this PDF? No. Only sir, Vijay Pratap, we are not. See, here's just see who has to sign. Date, signature, and seal of the branch in charge. That's all. You are not supposed to sign this. But in case if the details furnished by the branch is wrong, you have to give a specific report or special report that those points you have to cover in your LFAR. You are not supposed to sign this. Is it clear, sir? Vijay Pratap, sir? We are, see, when these details, the reconciliation statement has to be submitted by the branch and not by you. You have to verify. These statements the branch has to submit and you have to verify. And if you are not agreeable to any of this, then you have to give a special report that I am not agreeable to this large advances report. This is an important thing that you have to go through it. And this is another thing that we want to say about this. So this is what I want to say about the LFAR, and regarding documentation and everything, I'll cover in a separate note, separate PPT, I'll cover it. Now I'm going for the, I think I'll Just wait, I'll come back. Is this PPT visible, sir? This PPT is visible. No, 1 second. Now, yes. Thank you. Yes, I've forgotten to click the share button. And now I'm going to touch about the planning and documentation on the afternoon till lunch. Say now it is 12:45. I think in 15-20 minutes we will complete that planning of audit. Now you have to go for the audit. What are the important things that you have to consider? Now I think you have equipped with the LFAR. Now you want to do the audit, you want to commence the audit. What are the important things that you have to consider is planning. First is planning. Before you leave the office, please take note of it. Before you leave the office, these are the things that you have to take the original and copy of the bank branch appointment letter. Bank branch audit appointment letter you have to take it. So where is your appointment letter? If you go to the bank, they will ask what is the branch audit appointment letter. So you have to take that. Next one is prepare introductory letter with the authorization letter for your staff. Suppose if you have been accompanied by your staff, then you have to sign that letter, and even the staff also, they have to sign that thing also. That is introduction letter, you have to take it. Next one is you have to prepare the audit program based on the discussion, based on your experience. You can have audit program even in our ICA manual, that is bank audit book. They have given the audit program. You go through it and you can easily find. But most of the things I covered here. But thing is, you have to prepare an audit program and get all surplus copy that is needed for your audit. Here, for this year, you have got 3 surplus. That is, you are going to do the audit, and you have got 3 important surplus that are going to affect your IRAP norms, or that is NPA classification. That is on 1/10/2021, the RBI has issued a master circular revising modifying the 2015 circular 1. And for that master circular, on 12/11/2021, the branch has issued 1 clarification circular. And a further clarification they have issued in the month of February. So there are 3 circulars. That circulars I have circulated to you for your reference. In the morning, I have already circulated to you. You go through it and you will get a lot of information. Even in the NPA also, I cover all the important things. So get all the circulars that is needed for your audit. That is the next work that you have to take. And allot the audit area of work to you and as well as to your staff. What is the work that you are going to do it? What is the work that your staff is going to do it, that you plan? Because that saves a lot of your time. And you have to attend refresher course, and you have to attend the audit seminars. So before leaving the office, you and yourself should attend the refresher course, should attend the audit seminar, so that whenever they go to the audit, they will be having a lot of their memories. Because after you complete this year audit, you will be getting the audit only in the next year. So in the entire 1 year, you will not be fully equipped. So to update the knowledge, you have to attend the refresher courses or audit seminars. Do not forget to take this. You please give this work to your staff. Do not, but even this also you can have this checklist, because sheet for working purpose. So you cannot go and ask the manager, can you give some 3 bundles of A4? So you have to carry the notebook, you have to carry the white sheets for your working purpose. This items may be a silly thing, but my concept is you should not go and ask anything from the branch because everything is being reimbursed by the bank to you. So you have to carry your own white sheet for the working purpose, and you have to take calculator because when you go to the branch, you will not find the calculator. You don't go and ask the branch to give the calculator. So if 4 of your staff are going, and for you have to carry 5 individual calculator. You have to take calculator, and next one is you have to take tag, eraser, scale, pencil, stapler, stamp pad, gum. These are the items that you have to carry. You are not supposed to go and ask from the branch, and you have to carry the file, and you have to carry all this. You have to carry a bag and water bottle because sometimes now it is available in most of the places. Bisleri water or something that water bottle is available, and if it is not there, you have to carry the water bottle. Even because why I put this here, when I went to a rural branch, even ordinary water is also, even any water is not available. So next day we carried a very big can for the purpose of audit. And food items. Suppose when you go to the rural branch, you are not able to find the proper food. It may affect your stomach. So you will be landing into trouble. So you have to carry even the food items for the lunch also. The manager, they say that also, we will go for the lunch and it will be around 7 kilometers or 8 kilometers. That will be wasting of our time. So you have to carry the food items, and you have to take the seal of you, full address, initial address, membership address, even pen drive, digital side. Now you have to give everything digitally. So you have to carry the digital signature also. You have to take your cell phone as well as cell phone charger. When you go to the branch, you will not find this cell phone or cell phone charger. So you have to carry on you, and you have to take towel because whenever you are going to all branches are not AC based branches, and even you may get a lot of sweating. So to wipe out, you should have some towel. And what's the route map and how to reach the branch? Now Google Map is there, you can go and reach the branch, but you can ask the manager. See, if you say that Puduchatram, let us say, I will tell you a practical issue. Puduchatram. The Puduchatram is nearby Salem also. There is another Puduchatram which is nearby Chidambaram place. Chidambaram is there something around, we have to travel around 250 kilometers, around 275 kilometers from Salem. And this Puduchatram is only 25 kilometers from Salem. So this will take a lot of confusion. This will create a lot of confusion. So which Puduchatram branch we have to go for audit? So you have to ask for the route map. You have to get the transport schedule. Suppose if you are going by car, the immediate thing is you have to write a letter to the regional office saying that I want to go by car because I have to carry all my laptop, printer and everything. So I want to go by car. So if you go by car, you will not be reimbursed towards the transport charges. So route map and get the transport details. And sir, at the closure of audit, where we are made to sign hundreds of statements, verifying the LFAR point itself takes 2 to 3 days easily. Is it practical to verify those statements at the well? Vijay Pratap sir, it is experience counts. It is experience counts. So you have to take quick decisions. So you have to update the knowledge. You have to refer a lot of books. You have to consult your senior. Then if you get a lot of experience, you can do it. Normally for LFAR, see, if you do the LFAR, this is audit. That's all. Everything is part of LFAR. Documentation is part of LFAR. Bank fraud is also part of LFAR. But even verification of all other things are also part of LFAR. So we can complete it. And it is nothing but the experience. Okay. Let us, even when I did the audit, previously it took me 7 days. Now I will complete the audit within 2 days because of my experience. That's all. Experience counts. And we have to verify everything. You are not supposed to give no nil, not applicable less, but because This LFA specifically mentioned that you have to give a mandatory specific report, and you have to take the reserve train ticket. Now everything is in the mobile, and get the branch contact number, landline, mobile number. Please hand over this number to your mother or wife, or if father is there, then give this to the father, because if anything goes wrong and your parent may want to talk to you, so please hand over this contact number to the member, to your family, and take cash, credit card and debit card, because you have to take enough cash. Because in bank you go and you are not in they will not give you any cash. So you have to take cash, you have to take credit card or debit card, and get boarding and lodging details. The immediate thing is, sir, I have landed at this place, and where I have to take the boarding and lodging, because these boarding and lodging payments have been reimbursed by the bank. So get the boarding and lodging details, and you have to carry the medical kit. You have to carry the medical kit, because this is very, very important. Because sometimes when you got some loose motion, you should have tablet, because at the midnight, if your stomach has got upset, if you are having dysentery, then how to stop it? You have to take some tablets. So you go to the doctor, or even some general medicines are there. You have to bundle it. You have to prepare it, because you are taking your staff also. Suppose if they are taking vomit, then how to control? So in the midnight, you are not in a position to find any doctor. So medical kit, carrying medical kit is a must when you are going outside your office. Okay, this is not sufficient. And behavior concept during the audit, this is applicable. This you have to inform to the staff. And normally we used to maintain the professional image, and you have to instruct the staff to keep quiet and calm, and there should not be emotion on the part of the staff. They have to ignore the ego, and they have to maintain the professional image, and they have to go and with full details. They are not supposed to go and ask these details, and they should know the rules, because you are there to educate them, and you have to ask them to talk politely. There should not be any shout, and they have to behave very politely, and they have to maintain the time. That is, time management should be there, and they should be properly communicated. If they need any details, that should be properly communicated, and they have to avoid the excuses. If they commit any mistake, they are not supposed to go and ask the branch, sorry sir, I've done this mistake. So yeah, you have to instruct them, you have to talk them less, and they have to consult you only. Friends, you consult your seniors, friends and partners. That means the staff, they have to consult you or their friends for the clarification. They are not supposed to go and consult the branch manager, because if they consult it, the manager, they will come to the conclusion that this boy didn't know anything. So they have to consult you only, and they have to talk confidently. They have to be comfort during the audit, and they have to dress properly. This is a very, very important thing. They have to dress properly, and they have to avoid bad habits, and you should be a good listener. Whenever manager says, he should have got some good listening capacity, and they have to do the audit in a relaxed manner, and there should not be any tension, because all the tension comes to us only. They should not have any tension during the audit. And they have to be smart, but they should not show the smartness to others, because others are not smart. Even the same thing is also applied to us. We have to be smart, but we should not show our smartness to others, because others are not smart. So there is no negative talks, no cell phone during the audit, and before leaving the branch. That is the behavior concept. Now you have completed the audit. Now you are going to leave the branch. What are the important things that you have to do it? Plan is, you have to pack your materials only. You are not supposed to pack the banker's material, and you have to take all the working notes carefully, and you have to go and say thanks to all the staff members, and you have to prepare the report, and you have to you can ask the staff to come and help you about the report, and don't ask for any tour arrangement. After completion of the audit, please do not go and ask the manager, please arrange for any tour. You can arrange on your own. Don't go and ask the manager to do it, and do not accept or ask for any gift from the branch. Do not accept or ask any gift from the branch. And attendance details. See, in that report, in your audit report, you have to give the attendance register. So which date you have on which time you have entered the branch, which time you have left the branch, overall attended, everything you have to prepare the attendance list, and this has to be countersigned by the branch manager. This list you have to prepare. Now, when you enter the branch, morning our Hemant asked, what are the questions the managers they will come and ask. So time of completion of the audit they will ask. So you have to say, no, I don't know anything about this. Suppose even they will ask this question to your staff. When you might have given instruction to your staff that the audit has to be completed within 3 days or 4 days. This message should not be passed on to the manager. This instruction you have to give to the staff. And what about you and the behavior of you and your staff? They will ask. So this should not be revealed to the manager. What is the food habit and entertainment? Is it whether are you interested in hot drinks? Are you interested in envy? These are the questions they will ask. So you have to play the game very safely. And what is the area which you want to commence the audit? Do you want to commence with the cash verification? Do you want to verify the jewel verification? So everything they will ask. So that point you have to concentrate, and they will give sometimes direction to do the audit. And if they are giving direction to the audit, sorry sir, you don't interfere in my audit. And the commencement of audit, that is, ask the branch manager to depute or assist you till the completion. So it will definitely save a lot of your time. So please ask the manager, sir, can you depute any staff? This thing I use in my audit, because I already said I am not strong in system operation. But when I ask the guy to assist me, to come and assist me, I know what to question and where to question, and they have to give the answer. So ask the branch manager to depute or assist you in the audit. And the next one is ask all the statements which are subject to audit to be verified by the auditor. They have to produce all the statements, because they are not supposed to give the statements on piecemeal. They have to give the full set of documents based on which only you are supposed to commence audit. Verify those statements as per the auditor instruction. Suppose if you are given instruction to your staff, they have to verify the statement as per your instructions. And what are the areas of verification? Normally, we have to verify the cash, jewel loan, securities verification, advances. For each and everything, we have to prepare a separate plan. What we have to do, what the staff they have to do, everything we have to give. So these are the important things of areas of verification. What are the tax certificate, tax audit report, LFAR, everything should be with you before signature. For you to verify, then after your satisfaction, you can verify it. What are the certificates to be signed? They will give bunch of certificates. So every certificate you have to read. And if they say anything technically, you have to read it, because you have got to Google. You can read it, and then you certify. You have to satisfy yourself. And what are the reports that you have to get? So after entering into the branch, you have to ask for the following reports: internal audit report, content audit report, inspection report, last year's audit. This we already discussed in the LFAR, but you have to ask these reports and read about the reports, and if there is any adverse comments noted by the auditors, and you have to see whether the same has been rectified by the person or not. Now you go to the checklist, because in our institute guideline there's a very big checklist. There you have to go to the checklist and you can do it. Here I am stopping the presentation, and we will break for lunch, and we will come back after. We will assemble by 3:30, and if I got any doubt, you can put it here in the chat box. Otherwise, we'll go for lunch and come back by 3:30, and we will extend. In the evening, we will extend, because in the evening, I'm going to the next presentation of documentation, and from there, I'll go and cover the NPA. And if anything left, then I'll go to the other subject. So after after lunchtime, I'll take the documentation part, and I'm going to explain what are the important points that are there in the documentation, and I'll cover the NPA thing, and remaining things with the availability of the time, we will complete the syllabus. And any doubt, you can put it in the chat box. Otherwise, we'll break for lunch. In the same link, you can join. The same link you can join, because after this session, I'm going to end the meeting for all. Then in the same link, you can join in the afternoon. For tomorrow, you've got this separate link. tomorrow you have to join in that link only. Any doubt you have got, you can ask me, sir. Anyways, I have received a question from Danny. Sir, annexure to LFAR related to large advances, for what category of advances we have to obtain? That's why they have already given a definition in LFAR that 10% of total funded and non-funded advances. So there you can arrive at the large advances. From that you can calculate. Can we break for lunch, sir? Yes. Okay, now time is 1:10. We will exactly assemble by 3:30 and start the documentation followed by NP. And that's a major thing that we have to see. And tomorrow I am going to cover all the advances area and all other areas which I have left today. Tomorrow I am going to cover in depth, and we will meet you. We will discuss the same thing tomorrow. Now I am going to stop the presentation, and we will reassemble by 3:30 in the afternoon.